up here to the Echo Park Bridge. I'll turn them loose to Alex Hayden.
Thank you, Pat. Good afternoon, everyone. Turns 16, 17, and 18 here at the circuit are all one big continuous right-hand turn. However, you have to be patient with the throttle through here. With turn 16, it does have a double apex in it, which means the driver has to put a little more steering wheel into the car a couple of different times. It'll straighten out only momentarily for the less than a heartbeat before turn number 17. Also, continuing that hard right-hand turn. A quick flick of the steering wheel there. That'll set you up for what we call the kink, or turn number 18. Once you hit turn 18, you hit a short straightaway. It goes downhill, and you get set for a 90-degree flat left-hand turn number 19. Hard braking there, downshifting. Driver's right will provide plenty of runoff if anybody cooks the brakes and slides wide. Once off turn number 19, another short straightaway before you hit the final corner here in this 2.4-mile layout. Turn number 20 here at Circuit of the Americas. Beyond 90 degrees. Once you make the turn as a driver, well, don't give up. You got to keep turning the race car. That will lead you onto the front straightaway and back to the view of the guys ready to call the start of the race, Mark Garrow and Brad Gilley.
When they swing wide out of turn number 20, they will go from the asphalt to the rumple strips to the dirt, and then they'll head off to the start-finish line. The race distance today, 156 miles, 65 laps total. Stage 1 ends at lap 20, Stage 2 at lap 40. The third and final stage will be 25 laps. The NASCAR starter, Kyle Hicks, the man behind the wheel of the GR Supra pace car, is Jason Brownlow.
Well, let's go down to pit road and survey our pit reporters and find out who they think might wind up in victory lane here today at Circuit of the Americas. At the entrance to pit road is Wendy Venturini.
Oh, nice. I get to go first. All right, guys. I was really undecided because we have Ross Chastain, William Byron, guys coming over for an Xfinity start, but I can't. Since I go first, I can't leave him on the table for anyone else. Connor Zilic, he's going to get the Xfinity win in his double-duty weekend here at COTA.
Heather DeBoe joining us from west of Texas.
Well, I was singing along the same lines there of Wendy, but Ross Chastain said during Cup practice that he's been dreaming of driving for Junior Motorsports since 2014. So he's going to be my pick, because what a story that would be for him to put it in victory lane the first time pairing up with that team.
All right, Brett McMillan, what did they leave for you?
They left me a guy who used to drive for Junior Motorsports but doesn't anymore. Now he drives for the Haas Automation team, and he's a great road course racer. He gets his first win at Circuit of the Americas, but not his first road course win. Sam Mayer goes to victory lane.
Oh, by the way, there are 5 drivers in the race today doing double duty this weekend. William Byron, Ross Chastain, Riley Herbst, Carson Hocevar, and Connor Zilic.
All of whom are very, very fast. We have several drivers who will be dropping to the rear, as right now they are lined up behind the Toyota GR Supra pace car. Jesse Love goes from the 11th starting spot. He'll go to the back. Also Chris Wright, Harrison Burton, Kyle Sieg, Austin Green, Baltazar Leguizamon, Ryan Sieg, Preston Pardis, Ryan Ellis, and Josh Balicki. That's all a mouthful right there. That's a third of the field going to the back, Mark.
I was just going to say, I'm not quick math. It's got to be 25 to 33% right there. That's a bunch of cars going to the back. Jesse Love, again, top 10 finisher a year ago. He'll be coming from the back. And Harrison Burton, as we talked about earlier, the only Xfinity Series driver to start the year with 2 top 10s at Daytona and Atlanta.
When they take the green flag, we're going to be kicking off eBay stage number 1. As Mark had mentioned, it's a 20-lap stage in stage 1. We do expect to see pit strategy come into play before the end of that stage. eBay, swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
This is the 5th Xfinity Series race at Circuit of the Americas. Kyle Busch, the winner in 2021. A.J. Allmendinger back-to-back in 22 and 23. A year ago, it was Kyle Larson. What do they have in common? None of them are in the race today.
All right, let's go down to pit road real quick as we're about to get ready to go racing here at COTA. Brett McMillan.
Brad, you talked about the guys going to the rear. Austin Hill's team thought he was going to the rear. After practice and qualifying yesterday, they found water in the radiator pan. They thought that they're going to have to pull the radiator. They came back this morning and looked, couldn't find it, couldn't find a leak. They decided to go ahead and go with what they've got and hope that it wasn't that it was just something else and not a problem.
Thank you very much for that good intel, Brett McMillan. Let's go up to the 220-foot tower. Joining us from the Motor Racing Network, we are thrilled to have Alex Hayden on the broadcast. What are they looking like, Alex?
Stacked up 2 by 2. Connor Zilic, your pole winner. He'll start the driver's left on his choice. Then on the outside of him to his right, you've got Ross Chastain. Row number 2, the red, white, and blue Chevrolet. William Byron is there. And then Justin Allgaier as the field goes to turn 20, looking for the start.
This is a left-hand corner before they hit the straightaway. Junior Motorsports teammates on the front row. Green flag is out on the jump on the inside. That is driver's left. Connor Zilic right next to Ross Chastain.
The old maxim is you can't lose or you can't win it on the first lap, but you can lose it. And now 5 wide. They come into turn number 1. Zilic slide advantage over a side-by-side battle for second. To the inside, it is the car of William Byron. To his right, Ross Chastain as they bent their way through turn 2.
Coming up to speed through turn 2 and 3. Connor Zilic squeaks away with the lead as they drive under the pedestrian bridge and whoa those speeds down. Kyle Larson's gotten around Ross Chastain into the second spot. The top 5 or 6 are single file. There's Sam Mayers trying to look under the 24 machine of Corey Heim. Now the first time into turn 6A. How do they get through right now without incident, Pat Patterson?
Zilic makes his way off of 6B, about 8 car lengths out in front of William Byron. Byron being dogged by the number 9 of Ross Chastain. Chastain will try to duck under him into turn 12. He gets a fender out in front, and he'll make the pass on William Byron. Let that car work its way out in turn 13. Here's Zilic, nice and smooth. Again, about a 4 to 5 car separation in first and second. Everybody behind this front car is lined up nose to tail as they race off of turn number 14, up here to the Echo Park Bridge.
They make their way into turn 16 for the first time at speed. Race leader Connor Zilic has opened up 6 car lengths on Ross Chastain. William Byron will follow suit, ride those tire tracks. Further back, the battle for the number 5 spot is on. Hard charge down to the inside of the racetrack as drivers kick dust in the air. Carson Kvapil is under attack as they work their way into turn number 20.
Corey Heim trying to get underneath Kvapil. Meanwhile, Connor Zilic will lead lap number 1. And here's Justin Allgaier now. He'll challenge Kyle Larson as they head to turn number 1.
Already a 10-car length advantage for race leader Zilic. He's now being pursued by Ross Chastain, who rides 5 car lengths up on William Byron. Byron now sees in his mirror big time Justin Allgaier as they go downhill, crest that hill, and head to turn number 2.
Off camber they go as the top 4, 5, 6 cars are single file there. Connor Zilic in the S's right now starting to pull away. There's a battle shaping up here that we've been talking about between Carson Kvapil and the 16 machine of Christian Eckes in the back of the top 10. There in the S's as Connor Zilic is in 6A.
Watching Zilic make his way over to the backstretch, a good distance back to second. Then you got William Byron. Justin Allgaier makes his way, and then Corey Heim. Also in this mix is Sam Mayer, who's moved up nicely now into that position. Here's the leader making his way up here to turn number 13. Zilic in that basically white car today. Behind him, Ross Chastain, William Byron, Justin Allgaier, Corey Heim, Sam Mayer. Then you've got the number 1 car of Carson Kvapil as they work into turn number 15. Here comes the leader to the Echo Park Bridge.
And that leader continues to be Connor Zilic. Smooth sailing here in what has been a stress-free start to this Xfinity Series race. His lead last time was 10 car lengths. This time through turn number 18, Connor Zilic has grown that advantage. It's up to 15, maybe 16 car lengths over Ross Chastain, who is second. William Byron continues to pedal hard in third.
That advantage more than 1 second in just 2 laps for Connor Zilic over Ross Chastain. They hit the front straightaway. It's about 10 car lengths difference. Behind Ross Chastain, you've got William Byron, then Justin Allgaier as they race up the hill.
Chastain relinquished the second position at the exit of turn number 1 on lap 1. Byron now settles back about 4 car lengths behind Chastain. Chastain now is no longer losing ground to Zilic. I think he's narrowed in, Doug, as they enter turn 2.
It certainly looks that way there as the leaders are all spaced out about the top 5 or so. Carson Kvapil coming through turns 2 and 3 right now has gone 2 wide with the 41 machine of Sam Mayer as they fight through the S's now. Ahead of the pack, Connor Zilic, Ross Chastain, and William Byron are your top 3.
Keeping our eye on that battle between Kvapil and Mayer. Mayer works his way to the inside there through the short chute, headed to the backstretch. Meanwhile, the leader all the way down here in turn 12. 8-9 car lengths back to second place running Ross Chastain. Then another 8 or 9 back to William Byron. The only side-by-side battle on the racetrack just happened with Kvapil. Here's the leader again in turn number 14. Down to 15 he goes And once again, Quapple are battling back there with Sam Mayer. That is a good battle. Then you've got the 16 car. Of course, that is the car of Christian Eckes doing a nice job out here this afternoon trying to pick up a position.
Christian Eckes trying to get by the Austin Hill car, so the Atlanta winner struggling just a bit here in the opening laps. Hill able to get by and maintain as Christian Eckes slips just a bit. Eckes will yield 3 car lengths to Austin Hill. They'll chase each other down the hill, back to turn number 19, and Austin Hill able to secure that position.
Connor Zilic again remains the leader in tow. Ross Chastain, Ryan Ellis has been spun in the back of the pack, but no yellow flag as the leaders climb the hill to turn number 1 again.
In 4 previous Xfinity Series races here at COTA, not a single Xfinity Series regular has won. Trying to reverse that trend is Zilic as he continues to lead Ross Chastain, this time by 5 car lengths.
They come down the hill through turn number 2, then set up for the S's. Turn 3 to the left. Right-hand turn for the leader, Zilic at 4, then to the left again at 5, then up and down the hill through turn 6, downshifting to set up turn 6A as the top 10, 12, 15 cars are single file and starting to spread out.
Watching again the leader as he makes his way to the backstretch. Once again, that battle is a good one there with Sam Mayer, Carson Quapple. Austin Hill is in that as well. Those cars working their way now onto the backstretch as they exit there. And the 00 of Sheldon Creed, also very racy. Taylor Gray is back there.
Got trouble over here at turn 6A. We got a car nose head first into the barrier. It looks like Carson Quapple. Yes, it is, in fact, as he seemed to miss the turn. I'm not sure if there was contact, but he's nosed and stopped in the tire barrier at turn 6A. Calamity Corner this weekend.
And that is Carson Hocevar driving the number 14. His window net goes down. That's going to bring out the caution flag. NASCAR just put out the caution flag. Hocevar has nowhere to go right now, Mark, where he's stuck in those tire barriers. And that is one of the sections of racetrack that we talked about, that if you get sideways, if you get into something, you're probably going to be stuck in something, and we'll see yellow.
So Hocevar, one of the double dippers in Austin, Texas this weekend, is out early in the Focused Health 250.
WeatherGuard says thank you to today's safety and ops crews that keep the track running like a well-oiled machine. This year's crew is once again sponsored by WeatherGuard Truck and Van Equipment. WeatherGuard, established in 1968. Prove it every day. Learn more at weatherguard.com.
The speed, the thrill, the action. NASCAR takes over Las Vegas March 14th through 16th for the Pennzoil 400 race weekend at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Get ready for non-stop action as NASCAR's biggest stars battle for victory. Whether you're in the stands or camping trackside, feel the adrenaline like never before. Tickets at lvms.com or call 800-644-4444. Are you ready to go all in? This is NASCAR. This is Vegas. This is the Pennzoil 400 March 14th through 16th.
Want to say a big thanks to our race sponsor here in the Focused Health 250. Focused Health is a national health insurance agency delivering health insurance solutions for individuals and families. Formed by 2 industry experts, Focused Health concentrates on government-supported health care. They are proud partners of the sport and the connections it brings to consumers throughout the race season. Together, we celebrate speed, competition, and the pursuit of a healthier lifestyle. We are working our first caution here at Circuit of the Americas in the Focused Health 250. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Dale Earnhardt, he's almost been deified. There's a mystique about him that's never been attached to any other driver, including your dad.
I think there's 2 things for Dale Earnhardt that make him who he is. He was that guy that's your neighbor. I don't care if you live in a mobile home. I don't care if you live in a mansion. He's that guy that was your neighbor. He's the guy that was out in his yard planting his plants. He's the guy that was out there
in Austin is set to play host to race 3 of the Xfinity Series season. Hello, one and all. I'm Matthew Owens, and welcome to Austin, Texas. Thanks for having us in for the race. Seth Eves is coming up in just a moment. This should be a very entertaining race. The Xfinity Series puts on some spectacular racing on road courses. These big, bulky, heavy stock cars that aren't exactly built to go road course racing. All it does for us is provide us incredibly entertaining racing, and that's what we're counting on here this afternoon. The favorite for the race today has to be Connor Zilic. This young 18-year-old superstar won in his Xfinity Series debut last year on another road course up in New York at Watkins Glen. Then yesterday, he smoked the field in qualifying here in Texas. He'll start on the pole, having won the pole by a full 0.2 of a second over Ross Chastain, a Cup Series regular that is interloping in the Xfinity Series race today. He has to be considered one of the favorites today, too. So, too, does William Byron, another Cup Series regular who will line up towards the front of the grid as well. We are in hurry-up mode here as the start of the race is near, so let's go ahead and give you the starting grid for today's Focused Health 250. As mentioned, it is Zilich starting on the pole in his WeatherTech Chevrolet for JBMotorsports, and also in a JRM car today, Ross Chastain starts in second. William Byron, we mentioned him in the Xfinity Series, former champion of this series, rolls off third in a Hendrick Motorsports car. That car will drive a handful of races with a handful of different drivers throughout the season. Justin Allgaier, the defending series champion, starts fourth. Another JRM Chevrolet, Carson Quaffle, rolls off from fifth on the grid, and Corey Heim will start from sixth. Row 4, Taylor Gray, who's had an impressive start to the season despite his late race crash last week, and Sam Mayer for the Haas Factory team. In row 5, it's Riley Herbst and Christian Eckes driving for Colleague, who's had great road course success in this series, mostly with A.J. Allmendinger. The RCR Chevrolets, it's won the first 2 races of the year, line up in row 6, Jesse Love and Austin Hill. Brandon Jones is in row 7, along with Sheldon Creed. Row 8, Daniel Dye and Sammy Smith. In the 9th row, Anthony Alfredo is with Blaine Perkins, who just celebrated a birthday yesterday. Nick Sanchez lines up 19th with Austin Green in 20th. Josh Williams started 3rd last week, his best ever starting spot. He's 21st for today, along with Matt DiBenedetto. William Sawalich starts in row 12, flanked by another Cup regular, Carson Hocevar. Just got done with Cup qualifying earlier and had a terrific qualifying run for tomorrow's race. Preston Pardus starts 25th. Josh Bilicki is 26th. Canadian driver Alex Labbe rolls off in row 14 alongside Sage Karam. Jeb Burton is in the 15th row with Dean Thompson. The only driver to finish in the top 10 in both of the first 2 races of the season is Harrison Burton. He'll have plenty of work to do today, though, to get into the top 10. He starts 31st alongside Brennan Poole. Chris Wright from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is in row 17 along with Ryan Ellis. Starting 35th is Jeremy Clements, making his 500th career Xfinity Series start today. Only the 4th driver to make 500 starts in this series. He's with Kyle Sieg out of Tucker, Georgia, in the 18th row. And in the 19th and final row, Baltazar Lagusiman will roll off from 37th on the grid along with Ryan Sieg. That's the starting grid. Now, there's one driver that you've probably heard a lot of in the Xfinity Series and even some of the Cup Series that you didn't hear in that grid. Highly disappointing moment yesterday in qualifying for Parker Retzlaff, who was one of 3 drivers that failed to qualify for the race. Real stunner and disappointment for that team. Also, Brad Perez and Thomas Annunziata driving car 70 that finished in the top 10 last week with Leland Honeyman. Those were the 3 that failed to qualify. So we get ready to go racing here at Circuit of the Americas. Now, something that you're going to hear from us a lot today and tomorrow for the Cup Series race, this course has changed for the NASCAR guys. This used to be a long, sprawling 20-turn road course. And yes, it is still long and sprawling, but the track has been shortened. The long Formula One layout has chopped off about a mile for the NASCAR Cup Series now and the Xfinity Series today. Instead of a 3.4-mile 20-turn course, it now becomes a 2.4-mile 17-turn course. And after you get up the hill and out of the S's at turn 6, rather than continuing on to the far end of the racetrack that leads to the hairpin and the long back straightaway that we've seen in past years and we'll see with Formula One, instead they'll cut to the left for a sharp turn 6 and lead into a little crossway that brings you onto that back straightaway, shortens it though by about 3/4 of its length, and takes you back to turn 12 and the stadium section. So the course has most certainly changed for the NASCAR guys here this weekend. So we get ready to go. Connor Zilisch and Ross Chastain on the front row, and as we mentioned, Zilisch, one of the heavy favorites for this race today, after winning in his series debut on a road course in New York last year, and has won the pole for this one here today. He's going to bring the field to the start line with Ross Chastain alongside him on the front row, and we get ready to go here from Austin, Texas at Circuit of the Americas. The Focused Health 250, 65 laps. First two stages will go 20 laps each. The final stage will go 25. And we are excited for it and excited to have you with us as well as the Xfinity Series season continues here on the Deuce. Zilisch and Chastain, teammates for the day, bring the field up out of turn number 20 down this long front straightaway. They get into the accelerator, the green flag waves, and it's time to drop the hammer in Austin, Texas. Zilisch choosing the inside line for turn 1 to driver's left, climbs the hill, goes into the sharp left-handed turn 1, and everyone spreads out behind him 3 and 4 wide as they matriculate through turn 1. Zilisch has held on to the lead, but behind him, William Byron has gotten past Ross Chastain to take over the second position. They'll dance their way through the S's, these slaloms that are so very difficult with these heavy stock cars, using a lot of curbing, and then they get to turn 6, and that's when they cut hard to the left and across the crosswalk, if you will, that brings you back to the back straightaway. That's where the cut is on the new course. So they move on to that much shorter back straightaway and towards turn 12, where a challenge for second is on. Chastain gets to the inside of Byron and back through. So Chastain moves back up into the second position, which is where he took the green flag from. Byron slips to third, and now they go through this stadium section with grandstands to the outside of it. And a very sharp left-hander brings you into that section, which is a triple apex right-hander. Turns 16, 17, and 18. Carson Quaffle through that section, running to the inside of Corey Heim. But as they come up out of turn 18, Heim now has the inside run for turn 19. He slings his car wide. It also pushes Quaffle wide as a result. Now under braking to the left-handed turn 20. They clear the 20th and final corner and come back to the main straightaway to complete lap 1, where Connor Zilisch is in front. So Zilisch away with the lead. Chastain behind him second, then Byron third, Justin Allgaier fourth, then that fight for fifth, which Corey Heim has now won from Carson Quaffle, and it's also brought Sam Mayer in, and in fact Mayer is going to follow through to sixth to get by Quaffle. Then Christian Eckes, the rookie driver for Colleague, runs eighth. Austin Hills picked up a couple of positions on the first lap to move to ninth, and Taylor Gray is 10th. Leaders through the S's and up towards turn 6. They make the sharp left-handed turn on towards this chute now that leads you back on to the back straightaway. Sanitary start for a road course race. It was very sanitary, as up towards turn 12, working to the inside of Riley Herbst in the 19 car, is Sheldon Creed, and Creed gets through to take that position. That's for 12th. I make that 11th for Creed, passing Herbst, who backslides to 12th, and he's followed by Nick Sanchez in the 48 car. Sanchez for the Big Machine Racing team has had some good runs to start the season. Didn't get the finish he probably deserved at Daytona. Through this stadium section, and that triple apex right-hander, Sanchez feeling some heat at the back door from Sammy Smith. They sweep up out of turn 18, wide to the left. Then you have to swing the car to the right to set up for the next 90-degree left-hander, turn 19, then a similar 90-degree left-hander for turn 20, and that's where Sanchez gets to the inside of Herbst, sharpens the elbows a bit, pushes Herbst wide, and Sanchez takes the position coming to the line to complete lap number 2. This is a 20-lap first stage, as we mentioned, for a 65-lap race. Meanwhile, in the S's, Carson Quaffle makes it to the left elbow of Sam Mayer as they run through these very technical S's, and Quaffle sticks it in hard to turn 4 and gets around Mayer. So that's Quaffle moving up into the 6th position. Mayer, though, switches back to his inside for turn 6, cuts it very close to the apex of 6 with a tire barrier line just inside the curbing, and Mayer gets back through a quick left-handed turn 12, and back towards the back straightaway once again. And Austin Hill's on the move to the inside of Christian Eckes, and Hill's going to make the pass there on Eckes. Meanwhile, at the back of the pack, there was a spinner off turn 20 last time through. That did not bring out a caution, but it was Ryan Ellis for the DGM Racing team that got helped around. See plenty of contact, plenty of spins that don't bring out yellows. That's pretty normal on these long and sprawling road courses. So Connor Zilic shows the way here. Of course, tomorrow makes his Cup Series debut. Boy, are we excited to see what he can do for Trackhouse Racing tomorrow in his Cup debut, where everyone seems to believe that he's got a good chance to have a really good run. Came into the weekend as the second choice in the betting market for that race tomorrow. Qualifying just completed for that Cup Series race, which we'll have for you on USRN tomorrow, the Echo Park Automotive Texas Grand Prix. As the field works their way through the S's, or at least the leaders do, with Zilic in front by 1 second on Ross Chastain, followed by William Byron third, Justin Allgaier fourth, Corey Heim holding on to the 5th position, followed by Mayer, Quaffle, Hill, Eckes, and Creed, the top 10, and close racing just at the tail end of the top 10, with Creed drawing a bead on Eckes, and we have one car that's in the wall, and that looks to be at turn 6, Carson Hocevar, driving for the SS Greenlight Racing team, and yeah, that is at that new turn 6, where Hocevar in a red and black number 14 car has nosed it into the tire barrier on the outside of the corner, and that brings out a full course caution because it doesn't look like he's going to be able to dig his way out of that barrier. So we get a caution for the first time here this afternoon in the Focused Health 250 at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. The yellow flag flies. Carson Hocevar in the wall. So caution is out. We'll take a quick break as we're just underway in the Focused Health 250 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans. Tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
At NASCAR, we're all about taking care of our fans. That's why we offer not only great racing, but also great prices. We're talking free kids tickets to all Xfinity and truck races, discounts for the military, and you can even bring your own cooler into most races. It's a lot for a little, and it's just what the fans deserve. Get your tickets today at NASCAR.com/tickets.
What up, all you boxing fans? This is Vince Wright, the sports governor, and me and Gilbert Batista are the host of Ringside on IE Sports Radio. Make sure you keep it tuned to IE Sports Radio, Spreaker.com for the latest edition of Ringside. All the boxing news you need right here. Keep it tuned, Spreaker.com, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Get close closer to hockey with the NHL app. Closer to the names you know and need to know.
The man chance scores!
Closer to all the games, all the time. Get closer to everything you love with the NHL app.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From where we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
Two Wheels Wednesday is the place to come for all your motorcycle sports news every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio with myself, Matt White. All the latest news, rumours, race reviews and previews from World and British Superbikes and the big one, MotoGP. Two Wheels Wednesday, every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Back on USRN and getting ready for the restart here at Circuit of the Americas for the NASCAR Xfinity Series after the first caution for a spin by Carson Hocevar in turn 6. Field comes to the restart zone. Green flag waves with Connor Zilich and Ross Chastain on the front row, and they make the Coda climb all the way to that very sharp left-handed turn 1, 3 wide behind the 2 leaders as Ross Chastain sticks it around the outside of Connor Zilich, and downhill into the S's. Zilich and Chastain are side by side, 3 wide behind those two for third. William Byron sends it through the middle of Carson Quaffle and Corey Heim. They get it all sorted out in the S's as Zilich holds on to the lead over Chastain. At the end of the S's and back to turn 6 and through the quick chute that brings them back onto the main straightaway. 2 by 2 from about 8th on back as Chastain's not done trying to make his move on Zilich for the lead. As in turn 12, he made a look to the inside, did Chastain, couldn't complete the pass. So Zilich shows the way towards turn 12 and into this stadium section, as we call it, as they swing wide before cutting it down to the inside of turn 15. Now they'll swing the cars back to the left to set up for that triple apex right-hander at turn 16, 17, and 18 with that tall observation tower just to driver's right. Justin Allgaier has company to his inside. Sam Mayer tried to squeeze down to the inside of Allgaier. Allgaier put him onto the curb, and Allgaier will hold on to the 5th position. Leaders coming into turn number 20, and Connor Zilich with a little bit of debris on the grill of his WeatherTech Chevrolet brings the field back towards the start-finish line. Oh, and we have trouble out of turn 23. Cars went spinning. One is Carson Quaffle, another is Nick Sanchez, and the other is Sheldon Creed. So 3 front-running cars got tangled up and went around in turn 20. They all get it righted. Creed is the last of the 3 to get away and he accelerates back down the main straightaway and makes the climb up towards turn 1. All three were running in the top dozen at the time of the contact. Not sure what sent all three around like dominoes, but they did go for a spin, and we might thought we were maybe going to get a replay on our monitors, but not quite, as further back Jesse Love is battling with cars just outside the top 10. Working lap 8 of 20 in this first stage. Now we're about to see on our monitors what happened. Oh, Creed was the first one that went around, and he was ahead of Sanchez and Quaffle, and those two ended up running into each other and spinning, trying to avoid Sheldon Creed. Creed, who, of course, finished third in the season opener at Daytona. Plenty of drivers have ran well in each of the first two superspeedway races of the year, but not everybody got two good finishes. As we mentioned, only one driver has finished in the top 10 in both races to start the season, and that's Harrison Burton with finishes of 6th and 10th at Daytona and Atlanta, respectively. No one else has top 10 finishes in each race to start the year. Zilich brings the field across the line, followed by Chastain and Byron, second and third. Two Cup Series regulars interloping into the field today, running second and third behind Zilich, who, of course, makes his Cup Series debut on this track tomorrow. Through the S's, Zilich's lead on Chastain is only a couple of car lengths. Chastain sticking with him well. Of course, Zilich makes his first career Cup start on this track tomorrow. This is the same track where Ross Chastain scored his first Cup Series win at a couple of years ago in that thrilling finish between he, Alex Bowman, and A.J. Allmendinger. As the field dances through the S's and then comes to that new turn 6A where they cut it sharply to the left. Have to avoid that tire barrel. Not really a tire barrier, more of a barrel. And then shoot out down through what is being called 6B, which turns you on back to the back straightaway. So about midway through this first stage, and Zilich leads. Further back, you've got Jeb Burton and Connor make that Williams Sawalich running nose to tail. This is just outside the top 15 and just behind Brandon Jones, along with Josh Williams and Jones and Blaine Perkins in a bunch moving through the stadium section. And Jones moved to the outside by Alex Labay, who joins this battle. Labay, a good road racer from Canada, to the inside of Jones out of 19 and into 20. And Labay's going to make that pass up into the 16th position. This is 15 seconds off the lead, but Labay moves up into 16th, passing Jones, and it's going to bring Josh Williams to the inside, invite Williams into the battle as they climb uphill to turn number 1. And Williams works his way past Brandon Jones as well. That puts Williams in 17th, slides Jones to 18th, just ahead of Jeb Burton 19th, and the 20th place running William Sawalich, who has Josh Bilicki nipping at his heels. Lap 10 of 65 in this Focused Health 250 ongoing here. And a really exciting start to this race. Was fairly sanitary in the first handful of laps until we had Carson Hocevar's issue at turn 6 getting turned into the tire wall to bring out a quick full course yellow. And then that was followed by the restart spin by 3 cars, Sheldon Creed, Nick Sanchez, and Carson Quaffle. No caution for that incident. So Connor Zilich still away with the lead. And Zilich running extremely well. Again, smoked the field in qualifying yesterday. What a run he had during qualifying, beating Ross Chastain for the pole by 2 full tenths of a second. And, as mentioned, started the day as the heavy favorites. Lap 11 up on the board with Zilich upping his lead now to a second and a third on Chastain. Let's get a word from the folks at the Performance Racing Network quickly.
Change the right side tires and fix damage on the right side of Austin Green's machine. But yeah, he told us in pre-race he had to go to the back because they had an issue. So unfortunately that cost him here in the race today.
Leader is off of 6B now. Onto the back stretch once again, looking at the field very much spread out. Connor Zilic doing a nice job up front. Then you've got, of course, Ross Chastain back there. Continuing to watch that battle with Taylor Gray involved in that, with Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith doing everything he can right now to try to move up a few more spots as the number 19 car is right there with Riley Herbst. Smith is trying to get to Riley Herbst as the leader is getting through turn number 14 underneath the bridge. Again, it's a long way back for Sammy Smith to get Riley Herbst, but those cars beginning to work now off of turn number 15.
Austin Hill is the driver right now that will take a peek in the mirror and see Riley Herbst beginning to close in a little more. Now 3 car lengths the advantage for Austin Hill. This is in the back half of the top 10. Austin Hill, obviously a super speedway powerhouse, getting the job done here so far in the first stage on the road course.
Hill again the runner-up here in 22 and a year ago in 2024, currently riding in 7th. Meanwhile, with 11 laps complete, 9 to go in stage number 1 of the Focused Health 250, Connor Zilic is the leader. Ross Chastain second. Third is William Byron. And rounding out the top 5, Corey Heim, Justin Allgaier. We're back for more in just a moment.
Look, yo, how do you feel today? Maybe you're a little hungover.
Alex Hayden working for the Performance Racing Network this weekend. That is a new sound for sure. As the MRN booth guy moves over to the Performance Racing Network. 8 laps to go here in stage number 1. Christian Eckes and Sammy Smith fighting hard for the 9th position through the S's. And Eckes hits the curbs hard, swings out wide, makes contact with Smith. Both of those 2 cars get slowed up, and Taylor Gray comes in and gets by both of them. So Gray picks up a couple of positions on both Eckes and Smith. How about that? And that moves Gray up into the 9th position, moving up into the top 10. As they come up out of turn 6B and down the straightaway. That was hard racing between Eckes and Smith. And as I mentioned, through the S's, Eckes got hard onto the curb, lifted the right front tire of Eckes' car up off the ground, drifted up because of that, and just tagged Smith. Both guys had to check up. And moving through both of them was Taylor Gray. Eckes already with some left front sheet metal damage on that colleague number 16. As the leaders start to spread out a little bit here as we get more and more green flag laps in. We've got a battle between Austin Hill and Riley Herbst moving to turn 20, and Herbst gets to the inside of Hill. Hill, who has finished second here at COTA a couple of times, including a year ago, will yield that position to Herbst, now a Cup Series regular. And Riley moves up into the 7th position. He has never had great success on the road courses. When he was an Xfinity Series regular was Herbst, but trying to get some reps in before the Cup race tomorrow, and he's running well here, passing Hill for the 7th position. William Sawalich still struggling to pick his way through traffic. He still runs 20th, and in fact, he's got a couple of cars lined up at the back door, which includes Ryan Sieg and Dean Thompson, and Sieg's going to look to the inside of Sawalich at turn 15, and Sieg's going to make that pass. So Sieg, with a textbook pass there, moving into the stadium section, getting by Sawalich. Further up, Jesse Love running in behind Anthony Alfredo. That's at 12th and 13th coming out of turn 19. Love swings it wide of the curbing to drivers right in 19. Gets it pointed back to the left-handed turn 20. Love, who of course won at Daytona and led laps and was up front for the majority of the race in Atlanta last Saturday. Takes a peek towards the inside of Alfredo in turn 1, but does not make an attempt at a pass. Getting towards the end of stage number 1 in this Focused Health 250. Third race of the season for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Matthew Owens here with you on USRN2, where you can find every NASCAR Xfinity Series race this season. And it has been a fun start to the year, but as we mentioned, the high-banked drafting track super speedways that we've started with in Daytona and Atlanta, we won't have another one until we get to Talladega in April, and now we move to the road course, first road course race of the year. Sheldon Creed trying to make his way back up through the field after his spin on the restart, working to the inside of Brennan Poole at turn 15, and Creed makes the pass there on Poole. Poole, the Texas driver from Alpha Prime Racing, yields that position to Sheldon Creed. Connor Zilisch continuing to build his lead, and it's now north of 4 seconds on Ross Chastain, who in fact is feeling some pressure at the back door from William Byron, and Byron out of turn number 20 is going to pull up alongside Chastain down this main straightaway, and Byron makes the pass. So Byron moves up to second, getting by Chastain. Taylor Gray comes to pit road with 3 laps to go in the stage. Jesse Love does too. Not surprising to see some guys taking advantage of flipping the stage. And just before pit road closes, which it does with 2 to go in the stage, they come in with 3 laps left. William Sawalich is also on pit road, and we have a car slow and coming to a stop to the outside of the racetrack, just out of turn 20 on the main straightaway. Baltazar Lagusiman has pulled off the track, and that might bring out a caution, and actually it should, because he is pulled just barely off the track. And indeed, the yellow comes out for the 24-year-old driver from Argentina, and just as the yellow waves, Connor Zilisch, the leader, who was going to come in just before pit road closed, he has come on to pit road, has Zilisch. Now the question will be, did Zilisch get to pit road before pit road closed? So the yellow flies, with just 2 to go in the stage. William Byron and Ross Chastain both stayed out, and we will have to check that on Zilisch, the leader, guy that has led the whole way so far from the pole, may have just been put in a very difficult position because he was going to come in before he completed the lap, which is totally legal for him. Pit road closes when the leader strikes the line to start the penultimate lap of the stage. So he was going to come in before because he was the leader, but just at that moment, you had Baltazar Lagusiman pull off the racetrack to bring out a caution. So we'll have to check that on Zilisch. Stage is going to end under yellow here. Zilisch, of course, a series regular this year. He is running for the championship, giving up a chance to win the stage, 10 points and a playoff point to come to pit road. And we are getting a look at it on our monitors, and it looks as if Zilisch, this is tough luck for him, but it looks as if the yellow light had come on just before the nose of his car crossed the plane to pit road entry. So because of that, Zilisch is going to get a penalty for pitting on a closed pit lane. That is a tough break for Zilisch. It's good news for us because we're going to have to watch him drive from the tail end of the field here on the restart to start stage 2. So it'll be highly entertaining for us, but it's really a shame for Connor, and really changes the way he and his team runs and calls this race. His crew chief Marty Lindley is going to have to get creative now. Of course, they did go ahead and change 4 tires, so they won't have to pit under this yellow, but because it was a penalty for pitting on a closed pit road, he still will not be able to jump the drivers that pit under the caution. It will be a tail end of the longest line penalty for Zilisch. And that is too bad. So that's going to put us to the end of Stage 1. William Byron driving the Hendrick Motorsports entry for the weekend. He's going to win the stage, of course, winning on this racetrack in the Cup Series last year. He's your Stage 1 winner here in the Focused Health 250. We'll take a break and we'll get Stage 2 started on the other side. You're listening to the NASCAR Xfinity Series on USRN2.
What's good, everyone? It's Drosky, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Stokes on strike, he's going to hit it away, and he's going to hit it away to win the World Cup for England. This is Tom Dillon, you're listening to USRN on Mixler.com and the Mixler app.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans. Tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
To the Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week, I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world. From the English Premier League, to the World Cup, to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas. Whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers. Tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Grid Network is your home for all the latest news, highlights, and analysis in the world of motorsports. Tune in to Grid Tonight, your weekly motorsports news program, every Wednesday evening. Then watch Grid Live pre-race, wrap-up, and encore every Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as we discuss each weekend's races. Subscribe to Grid Network on YouTube to watch all our live programming and catch up on past episodes.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
Are you a fan of the best teams in the Buckeye State? Then this is a show for you. This is the State of Ohio Sports, where I, your host, Andrew Hagel, will bring you all the professional news as well as all things college from Northeast Ohio and Cleveland all the way down to Southwest Ohio and Cincinnati, and even in the heart of the state in the state capital of Columbus. So if this sounds like the show for you, check out the State of Ohio Sports show every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
This is Matt White. Out of the final corner, he has rustled up a good one. The Good Ranchers car wins at Alabama. Scott McLaughlin has got his 4th IndyCar win. You're listening to USRN, Mixler's fastest network.
At NASCAR, we're all about taking care of our fans. That's why we offer not only great racing, but also great prices. We're talking free kids tickets to all Xfinity and truck races, discounts for the military, and you can even bring your own cooler into most races. It's a lot for a little, and it's just what the fans deserve. Get your tickets today at NASCAR.com/tickets.
What is going on, everybody? This is Ben Matello, the host of the Yinza Report, right here on IE Sports Radio. I'm bringing you the latest in the Steel City, the City of Champions, from the Steelers, the Penguins, the Pirates, as well as the college game with both Penn State and Pitt. You could join me every Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, where I'll be talking about everything from the Steel City, the City of Champions, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you looking for a sports show that maybe isn't 100% about sports?
Then you might want to check out the Sports Couple Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio.
Most sports shows cover only scores and stats, and while we're not opposed to that, we dig a little deeper into sports issues and some of the hottest topics in athletics.
In addition to sports, we take a journey through my neck of the woods, pop culture, with movie reviews of both sports and non-sports films.
Speaking of pop culture, make sure to participate in our game nights, where we quiz each other on our specialties, and you, the listeners, can win IE Sports Radio apparel.
We always have a great time learning more about each other's worlds, one show at a time.
So join us each week on the Sports Couple Perspectives, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Allen Pump stands in the pocket, throws far side, end zone, wide open, catch is made by Davis for the touchdown! This is Matthew Owens, and you're listening to the Ultimate Sports Radio Network on Mixler.com and the Mixler app. William Byron, the winner of Stage 1, finishing under caution, and now we get ready for Stage 2 to get underway in the Focus Health 250 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series from Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. It is a big racing weekend on USRN with the Xfinity Series at COTA today, and then tomorrow a doubleheader on USRN starting at noon Eastern Time. The NTT IndyCar Series season opener in the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. And that'll lead you straight into the NASCAR Cup Series Echo Park Automotive Texas Grand Prix. Excited for that. Excited to see how this race continues on here for the Xfinity Series at COTA. Matthew Owens back here with you. Seth Eves coming up in just a moment. First stage finishing under yellow, won by William Byron and Connor Zilich, of course, the pole sitter and the heavy favorite today, who led every lap of that stage up until he tried to come to pit road, coming to 2 to go in the stage. Caution came out at a very inopportune time for Zilich, and what that has done is put him to the rear of the field for pitting on a closed pit lane. He will have to restart in the back behind everybody, and it's going to be extremely fun for all of us to watch Zilich work his way through the field. So we get ready for stage 2 to get going here in Austin, Texas. And again, because some drivers decided to pit before the stage ended, others decided to pit after the stage ended, we get a scrambled leaderboard with Taylor Gray and Jesse Love now in front of the field, followed by Brandon Jones, Riley Herbst, and Ryan Sieg. Well, we got our guy Seth off of the observation tower high up above the racetrack and ready to go at the start of stage 2.
Yeah, actually, I didn't mind being up there today, as nice weather as this is.
I don't want to be that high up off the ground. If God wanted me that high, he would have given me wings.
That was very deep. That was, yeah. Yeah, that was a quote.
That's why I don't get on planes.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, even I'm a bit wary these days. I mean, we've got one crashing every 3 days.
I'm telling you, David Muir tells us about it every night.
And stupid hour with us too only took about 15 seconds to get cranked up.
Field coming through turn 19, Toyota Supra pace car set to peel off onto pit road. Again, it's Taylor Gray and Sheldon Creed on the front row. Harrison Burton's going to restart in 7th. Talked about him earlier. He's the only driver to have 2 top 10 finishes in the first 2 races of the season. And he will restart 7th as the field comes up out of turn 20. Green flag waves, and we're back to racing in the middle stage at COTA. And they'll make that COTA climb up to the top of turn number 1, and Taylor Gray with the inside on the brakes hard. Everyone filters down into the U-turn, and it's Gray who gets away with the lead. Love is behind him second. Brandon Jones is door-to-door with his teammate for the day, Riley Herbst, for third. Then comes Ryan Sieg. That's the top 5 as they dance back and forth through the S's. Gray has opened up a lead of 2, maybe 3 car lengths on Jesse Love, the Daytona winner. Meanwhile, in the middle of the pack, they get bottlenecked up heading towards that sharp left-handed turn 6. The new turn 6 that brings you down through the chute into 6B and back to the shortened back straightaway. That's where the field gets really bunched up. William Sawalich has Corey Heim to his inside. He'll also get to the inside of Sam Mayer for turn 12 because it makes the most sense in the world to go from turn 6B to turn 12. And meanwhile, towards the stadium section, Jesse Love has closed back in on Taylor Gray. Gray swings it wide up out of turn number 15. Love tries to get to driver's left for the triple apex right-handed 16 and 17. And Love will get to his inside. Door-to-door with Gray. Up out of turn number 18. Now Gray's got the inside line for turn 19. Squeezes Love out wide of the curbing. Watching all of this, Riley Herbst on the way to turn 20. And under-braking to the 20th corner. Love sticks it in around the outside. Gray to his inside. Drag racing down the main straightaway. And at the line, just about a photo finish to the stripe that time as Gray puts his nose in front, races back to turn 1. Now Jesse Love changes lanes, comes right across the nose of Herbst, gets to the inside of Gray. Love drives Gray wide. Herbst is going to try to go by both of them.
Oh, look out. Probably getting elbows deep here. Here we go.
Through the S's, Love accelerates to the lead. Herbst behind him second. Gray is now third. Carson Quaffle closes in on this trio at fourth. And Herbst heading towards turn 6A gets into the back of Love. Nearly turned him wide into that barrier to driver's right out of 6A. Out of the left-handed turn 6B. And Love holds on to the lead on the way back to 12. Meanwhile, Connor Zilich trying to pick his way through traffic after the pit road penalty. He's already passed about a half dozen cars, maybe even more than that. He's just gotten by Ryan Ellis. Brennan Poole is just ahead of him as he hits turn 12.
Yep, so Connor Zilich now on the move in that 88 car. And again. Going to be entertaining as all get out to watch him go through the field. Don't get elbows deep with 44 car there.
Oh, man, and just drives it down. Sticks it down the inside of Brennan Poole. And Zilich gets around Brennan in the Midas colors this weekend through the stadium section. 15, make that 16, 17, and 18, that triple apex right-hander. And Zilich gets through Poole, and now will put his sights on Alex LeBay, making his return to the series today. And Zilich quickly gets by LeBay, too, in turn 20. So Zilich is wasting no time. Meanwhile,
Here he comes. There he goes.
And meanwhile, at the front of the field in turn 1, Carson Quaffle round the outside of Taylor Gray. Strong move by Quaffle, and that neon orange and camouflage number 1 moves up into third, getting by Gray. And just behind them, Sheldon Creed, who was spinning on the most recent restart. And speaking of spinning, Dean Thompson has done just that on the exit of turn 1.
Yep. Sam Hunt Motorsports car fired up, pops a gear, and resumes action.
Meanwhile, at 6A, Ross Chastain just took a quick bite to the inside. He gets by William Byron. Those were the top 2 finishers in Stage 1, Chastain and Byron. After that Zilich penalty, they leapfrogged him, and now Chastain works his way to driver's left on Harrison Burton. This is for the 8th position. Burton in that Dex Imaging Ford now has Chastain swing to his inside along the curbing. Burton goes defensive into turn 15. Chastain uses a hand grenade to open up the cereal box, works his way to the inside of Burton, and makes it past, heading to the stadium section.
Uses a hand grenade to open up the cereal box.
But then Chastain slides it wide, and Burton gets back by, and Byron does too.
Doc Emmerich has nothing on you, sir.
And Chastain is still rumbling here, works his way to the inside of Byron at turn 20. Oh, and Chastain drifts up, sharpens the elbows there, gets alongside Byron onto the main straightaway. Just behind all of this is Austin Hill, the winner last week. Runner-up in this race a year ago. They make the Coda climb to turn 1. Chastain's got the inside line at the U-turn, and he's going to make it past Byron. So Chastain ahead of Byron, ahead of Hill. Just behind that, Sam Mayer with Sammy Smith and Justin Allgaier into the S's.
Yep, good action here, and I'll be right back. Matthew, you know what that means? I'll be back in just about maybe a couple of minutes.
Back to the observation tower he goes as Jesse Love continues to lead at the front of this field with Riley Herbst working behind him in the second position.
Then in the 11th spot, it'll be William Sawalich, 12th Ryan Ellis, 13th William Byron, Austin Hill 14th, 15th Ross Chastain.
Beg your pardon. Apologies for that error with audio. Anyway, working through all kinds of audio gremlins today, and connection gremlins for that matter. At the front, Jesse Love leads from Riley Herbst, Carson Quaffle, Taylor Gray, and Sheldon Creed. That's the top 5 as we work lap 8 of 20 here in stage number 2. 2 cars out of the race, those being Carson Hocevar and Baltar Lagusiman. Preston Pardis has also fallen 4 laps down. As Love comes up out of turn 20, accelerates down the main straightaway with Herbst and Quaffle in behind. Cross the line and climb back up towards turn number 1. This is a promising run for Quaffle, who hasn't been towards the front as maybe some expected him to be as much in the super speedway races to start the year in Daytona and Atlanta, but running well here in third. Rookie driver, full-time in the Cup, in the Xfinity Series rather, for the first time here is Quaffle. As through turn 6A goes this lead 3 of Love, Herbst, and Quaffle. Meanwhile, for you Connor Zilich fans, he's already raced his way back into the top 20. So Zilich is flying through this field. Wondered if it would take him the length of the stage to get back towards the front. Might not even take him that long. We'll see. when he breaks back in towards the top 10. Chastain and Byron have worked their way up to 9th and 10th, and now we get a yellow. This will only help Zilich as the yellow flag flies. And it's a full course yellow here. And trying to locate the reason for the caution. But we have a full course yellow again for the third time, second time for incident, or at least we're assuming it's an incident. Cameras on our monitor have not caught up to what has happened here. Oh, and it looks like in turn 6A, a car has gotten wide and contacted the tire barrier. Whatever that car was has driven away from the accident scene, but the reason for the caution is that it has moved that tire barrier inward here. So the tire barrier has been moved inward from the contact of whatever car got into it. And it may have been Jeremy Clements making his 500th career start in the Xfinity Series this afternoon. Possibly was his bright yellow 51 that did that. And it was. Clements just went for a spin at 6A, and when he contacted the tire barrier, it moved the barrier and the O'Reilly sponsorship signage onto the course. And that's the reason for the caution, which comes out just shy of the midway point of Stage 2, lap 10 of 20 in the stage. We'll be right back.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas. Whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers. Tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Calling all Indiana sports fans, this is your podcast. Welcome to High Octane Entertainment on IE Sports Radio. Join me, Justin Lahr, as your host on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific to hear all the latest and greatest sports updates on everything from college to the pros in the great Hoosier State. No matter what, it's guaranteed to be high octane entertainment. That's Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Gear up. Visit the NASCAR shop online to find all of your favorite officially licensed NASCAR product. The NASCAR shop is the official online store of NASCAR and your destination for all of your favorite hats, t-shirts, die-casts, and more. Whether tailgating, home gating, or anything in between, visit NASCAR.com/shop for the widest assortment and best selection of NASCAR gear today.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my two co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
Back live on USRN, Mixer.com, and JB Motorsports, ready for the restart here at Circuit of the Americas, midway through Stage 2 in the Focused Health 250. In that green flag run, which was only about 6 laps long, Connor Zilic worked his way from the tail end of the field into the top 20 and to 16th in line. So Zilic, just that quickly, passed about 20 cars. We've had another pit road penalty while under this caution. Christian Eckes had too many crew members over the wall when he came to pit road to service his colleague Chevrolet. Jesse Love and Riley Herbst will be on the front row for this restart, with Carson Quaffle and Taylor Gray behind in row 2, followed by Sheldon Creed and Ryan Sieg. Brandon Jones and Ross Chastain will be in the 4th row, and the 5th row will be Harrison Burton and William Byron. Eckes hustling to try to get towards the tail end of the field in time for the restart. Focused Health 250, race 3 of the NASCAR Xfinity Series season. Matthew Owen, Seth Eves here with you. Field moving through the stadium section, right alongside that huge, tall observation tower at turns 16, 17, and 18, which leads into the 2 sharp left-handers at 19 and 20. So the Toyota Supra Pace car set to pull off onto pit road and leave the field in the hands of Jesse Love and Riley Herbst. Herbst now a full-time driver in the NASCAR Cup Series, getting some reps in prior to the race tomorrow. Field out of 20, restart zone is right out of the corner, and they can get on the throttle, which they do. Green flag waving, and Love did not get off to a good start, and Quaffle's going to cut to his inside. Taylor Gray fades to his outside. They were just about 4 wide down the straightaway into the corner. They do get it sorted at least to 3 wide. Herbst on the inside of Love. Herbst has the nose of his Monster Energy Toyota in front for the S's. Herbst inches ahead of Love, who lines up second. Wide out of the corner went Sam Mayer, may have gone for a spin. He gets back going. Into the S's, Herbst leads. Love is second. Quaffle is third. Gray slips even further back as Sheldon Creed gets around him through turn 6 and on the way to 6A. And it's Riley Herbst away with the lead. 2-time winner in the Xfinity Series a year ago was Herbst, doing it at Indianapolis and in the championship race at Phoenix. Leads on the way down to turn 12 from Love and Quaffle, then Creed. Further back in turn 12, a wad of traffic 3 wide with Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, and Austin Hill. Hill's going to get by Jones. He's going to work his way to the inside of Allgaier. Connor Zilic is in the thick of that too. So Zilic trying to pick up positions again. Moves to the left elbow of Brandon Jones for turn 15, makes the pass there. Corey Himes sticking on the tail end of this bunch of traffic through the stadium section, that triple apex right-hander, which is 16, 17, and 18. And Zilic is absolutely flying here through traffic. My goodness. He gets by Allgaier. He gets by Hill. He's to the outside of Sieg at turn 19. Zilic drops the right side tires off onto the grass. Under braking to turn 20. Slings it wide. Can't get around Sieg. And actually he went so wide that Allgaier gets back to his inside. Meanwhile, up towards the front on the way to turn 1, Carson Quaffle dips to the inside of Jesse Love at turn 1. He makes the pass going into the corner, but drifts up, and Love does the up and under move, Formula One-esque in that corner, and Love repasses to hold on to second. Now drifts a little bit wide at the head of the S's in turn 3. Stays in front, though, of Carson Quaffle as the field makes their way through those S's, dancing through the slaloms. And one car goes wide at turn 5. Sammy Smith goes off the track, gets back on, loses a spot to Nick Sanchez, then another to Jeb Burton. They all get wadded up at 6A, avoiding that tire barrel on the apex of 6A. And the restart is all over the place. Justin Allgaier's got some wrinkled sheet metal on the left front of his Chevrolet. A tire rub begins to develop on the defending champion's car. And just as we expected, Seth, the restart was absolute madness.
Yeah, you pack them into that corner 3 wide right there. And everybody off the course, and then you got, who's that, Mayer there spinning? I mean, it was just a mess. And then Zilich, good God, this was a chain reaction. Allgaier there. Not much to say other than a lot of cars went off the road, and a few of them even went sideways.
Yeah, what a mess. And the field now, the leaders coming up out of turn 20, Herbst from Love, and then Quaffle, top 3, cross the line and make the climb back to turn 1. They've got a break of about 5 car lengths to 4th place running Chastain. Quaffle wanted to make a move to the inside of Love. Love, with some wheel hop going into the corner, gets out of shape, has to correct it. Meanwhile, you got Allgaier smoking a ton up the main straightaway with that tire rub. Brandon Jones gets run into at the back door from who is that? Right behind him. That's the 10. Oh, my gosh.
Dye, isn't it?
Yeah, Daniel Dye, the rookie from DeLand, Florida. First time we've called his name since the starting grid.
From the land. The land.
And now, and only now, does the field get strung out a little bit as Nick Sanchez.
That tire barrel was there. Good God.
Nick Sanchez cutting it close to that tire barrel at 6A, makes a pass on Dye. Just behind that is where you've got Allgaier's car still smoking with that tire rub off the left front.
He might need to go to the pits. That thing is not going to get any better.
Just ahead of him, you had Jeb Burton locking up getting into turn 12. But yeah, Allgaier going on that spin on the restart with the wrinkled up left front, and it's rubbing that left front tire on the car of the defending champion. Meanwhile, back to Zilich, who has worked his way into the top 10, Seth. So that 7-lap green flag run that we had prior to the last caution, Zilich moved from 34th to 16th, and now he's up to 9th.
Yeah, I think it might be his race to lose.
He's came in as the heavy favorite. Of course, he's one of the top betting favorites tomorrow for his Cup Series debut. Meanwhile, side-by-side racing just across the start-finish line. Carson Quaffle to driver's left on Jesse Love. Oh, and then Love crosses over, comes all the way across the track to get to his inside. Terrible time for the cameras to catch Allgaier coming to pit road, and Quaffle has gotten by Love, and he's brought Ross Chastain into this battle, Seth, through the S's, where Chastain goes wide.
Goes very wide. Will he clear Love? Yes, only just. Heading through those S's. So it is Chastain with the position. Now, Love under pressure, as behind him will be the 00 of Sheldon Creed. Oh, look out, William Byron's in there too. Taylor Gray's going to be in there. It's going to be one big house party if this continues. Whoa! Creed kicks up some dust, and he will go wide. A great shot of the Brandt guy's backside there, guys.
Creed dropped the right sides onto the grass. Meanwhile, the windshield wiper on Byron's car has come detached from the actual windshield and is now just flailing through the air as he works his way to the inside of Jesse Love, shoves him wide at turn 15, and Byron will work to the outside of Love through the stadium section, that triple apex right-hander. You've got Byron alongside Love. Behind that, Creed is alongside Gray. Byron slings it wide to driver's left to set up for turn 19. He'll get ahead of Love, who goes well off the course. Well, they all go off the course at 19. And Creed is going to get to the inside of Love at 20, and I think make the pass, and he does.
Well, this was a bit of a hootenanny. That was neither pretty nor subtle.
Had Love off the track, had Creed completely off the track. Meanwhile, you've got 5 to go in the stage.
Boy, thank God Matt White isn't with us.
Yes, and the track limits conversation has been shortened a little bit from where it was last year. We're still looking for track limits through the S's. thankfully, we're not, with the shortening of the course, we're not getting as much on the back end of the course, as meanwhile Zilich continues to just drive through the field. He just got by Austin Hill for 8th. Now he just went through 6A, now to 6B. Onto the back straightaway, he's going to slingshot right up to the back bumper of Love. Meanwhile, ahead of that at 12, Creed wheel hop into Byron, forcing Byron off the road at turn 12, but he stays right alongside Creed, but then locks up the right front at 13.
Creed going for that crossover there, but Byron stays in front of him. So he remains 4th, and Allgaier coming back to pit road.
Yeah, he's got a flat right rear tire now.
Good Lord.
How did that happen? Oh.
Rough day, to say the least, for the defending series champion.
Might struggle to stay on the lead lap because of all of this. You can stay on the lead lap making 1 green flag stop, but possibly not 2, as the leaders are working through 19 and 20 now, so Allgaier very well may fall off the lead lap here. Meanwhile, this Byron and Creed battle continues out of 19. Creed is to the inside of Larson at 20. Byron, not Larson.
Byron, you big dummy.
Yeah, they're used to that being the Larson scheme, of course. Not sure what in the world happened to Allgaier. Like we said, he had a right rear tire go down, and then he was way wide at 19 and in the pea grass. Lord of mercy.
God, his whole tire came off, didn't it?
It did. So Allgaier, actually, he's come out just with the leaders, trying to stay on the lead lap, and Herbst is going to get around him in the S's. Carson Quaffle, who's Allgaier's teammate, stays behind. So Herbst is held onto the lead, but Allgaier's going to race him hard at 6A because Justin wants to get back on the lead lap. So here he goes at 6A to the inside of Herbst down the chute into 6B. Allgaier trying to stay on the lead lap, but also he might be helping his teammate Quaffle get the lead.
I was getting actually ready to say, Justin, you might want to just run away or get away, because the way they've been racing up there, you don't want to get caught in that mess. It's Quapple, and now Chastain's into the mix. We've got 3 for the lead here. Allgaier running interference, holds up Herbst. Could be 3 abreast for the lead here. Look out.
Yeah, heading towards 15 here. You got Quaffle now to the inside of Herbst, and he's got the low ground at 15. Allgaier's ahead of all of this. Now Quaffle puts his hand out the window to signal something at Chastain through the stadium section. A 3-car bunch for position number 1.
This is pretty cool. Talk about March Madness. Whoa, Ross!
Where in the world was Ross going? Now,
where are you going, son?
And Quaffle comes to pit road.
Going to pit road.
Yeah,
the one was going to pit road. Okay.
So you got Quaffle coming to pit road. Ross was out acres away from the racing surface.
Pit road's probably the safest place to be at the present time.
Here's Chastain to the inside of Herbst for the lead at 1. Herbst squeezes him onto the curb, so then when they come out of the corner, Chastain just gives it right back to him. Golly.
This is nuts.
Connor Zilich on pit road. These are scheduled stops for these drivers coming in here before pit road closes. Think I just seen William Sawalich flash by. Jesse Love is in. Second can of Sunoco Racing Fuel in for him. So off goes Love. A bit stuttered getting out of the box. Comes out just alongside Zilich. Creed was in. Gray was in. Jones was in. What a mess. So you got Chastain leading the way. He and Herbst could pit at the end of this lap if they choose, before pit road closes. And of course neither of these guys are running for the championship, just running to win today. So you would get a idea that they might come to pit road. 2 Cup Series regulars, in fact 3 Cup regulars, running first, second, and third. And in fourth is a non-Xfinity regular in Corey Heim. So the top Series regular is Austin Hill at 5th.
Well, it's just like the good old days. Cup guys dominating on a Saturday.
See if Chastain comes to pit road here. Yep, he is. And so too is...
Yeah, I believe that wasn't as much Chastain going wide as it was Mayer coming to pit road. I just think the camera had us fooled a little bit.
So here's Chastain and Herbst on pit road. Byron's in too. Heim is in. Hill is in. So the top 5 all come in. Not sure if Harrison Burton was able to get to pit road before pit road would have closed. And no, so Burton stayed out. Harrison Burton is in position to win the stage. What a great start to the season it's been for Harrison, as pit stops carry on for the leaders, Chastain and Byron and Herbst and so on. Corey Heim as well. And it's a bit slow on the 9. In fact, a lot slow on the 9. Finally gets that left front on and will still get out ahead of Byron and Herbst, which is where he was when he came in. 2 to go in the stage. And there goes Quaffle by on the merge. So Quaffle has stayed in front of that group, but it looks like they've gotten ahead of Zilich. Here's Harrison Burton, meanwhile. This is a guy.
Slick-looking hot rod.
Here's a guy that, of course, has been in the Cup Series, won a Cup race last year, of course, for the Wood Brothers. Drops back down to the Xfinity Series. He's talked with a lot of excitement all off-season long to be able to run full-time in the Xfinity Series again, basically the antithesis of Corey LaJoie, who, of course, talked about he didn't want to run in front of 19 people on Fridays and Saturdays in the Truck and Xfinity Series. Burton doing the exact opposite, driving for this AM Racing team, and all he's done, Seth, is finish top 10 in each of the first 2 races of the year. He's the only driver that can say that he's finished top 10 at both Daytona and Atlanta.
Talk about a difference in attitude.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
19 people. I think, well, first of all, he can't even finish 19th in this series either, probably.
No, he can't. Ryan Sieg, meanwhile, is second. Daniel Dye is third. And that top 3 crosses the line here to start the final lap of the stage. In fourth, you have Sammy Smith. And Jeb Burton is fifth. Jeb has also had 2 really good runs on the super speedways to start the year. Of course, he has a couple of Talladega wins in this series to his name, so not surprising to see him up front at Daytona and Atlanta to begin the year, but he's got that state water heaters car for Jordan Anderson's team up in the top 5 here on the road course in Texas.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jeb having a good run. Of course, he's kind of fallen back to being a bit of a journeyman now in the series. He has a couple of super speedway wins, but solid run right now on the road course. You know, remember once upon a time when we first started broadcasting these races, Brennan Poole was considered a rising star in this sport. He's bounced around a little bit since then, to put it mildly.
Yeah, he has. Meanwhile, Jesse Love in the
He's nice.
Works his way around Corey Heim. Yeah, well, how about 8th, 9th, and 10th? Alex LeBay, Sage Karam, and Kyle Sieg are all going to come across in points-paying positions to end this stage. Meanwhile, Zilich at turn 12 muscles his way to driver's left on Byron. Byron will have the inside for 13. This is an important race to the flag to see who will have that position at the end of the stage for the restart. Meanwhile, Harrison Burton works his way to turn 20. Just ahead of him is Justin Allgaier, who's going to stay on the lead lap. Green and white stage flag is waving, and Harrison Burton wins the stage. Bad news for the guy running right behind him, though. Kyle Sieg has just received a penalty for cutting the course. Daniel Dye gets by him, so Burton wins the stage. Meanwhile, you got this battle between Byron and Zilich continuing, and it is hot and heavy to 20. This is outside the stage points, but it is important for track position. Stage flag still waving, and Byron's going to get to the line just ahead of Zilich as the yellow flag now waves too. My goodness. The Xfinity Series puts on such magnificent racing. My God, Sheldon Creed and Jesse Love, where were they going at 19?
I think they were going to El Paso.
Creed shoved off into the dirt. My goodness. Xfinity Series racing is good everywhere, but on these road courses, it is spectacular with these heavy, clunky, off-balance race cars. And the first 2 stages in the Focused Health 250 in Austin, Texas,
real quick,
have really lived up.
Real quick, if you don't, we like that you listen to us, but if you can, grab a ticket if the Xfinity Series is in your backyard. You will be entertained.
No doubt. We'll be back for the start of the final stage at COTA.
What's good, everyone? It's Drosky, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Home to the Premier League, Bundesliga, the UEFA Champions League, USA Soccer, the 2024 UEFA European Championships, the 2024 Copa America, the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, and the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup. Soccer's biggest events live on USRN.
Home to the hits, the comebacks, the hat tricks, the emotion, and of course, home to the goals.
The Shoddy scores!
Shoddy scores!
Rebound, they score! They score!
USRN is your home for hockey all season long.
From the drama in Daytona, it's time to buckle up for Atlanta, where fabulous finishes are frequent.
They're going to be side by side when they come to the line. It's going to be another one of those fantastic Atlanta finishes.
Will this be another side-by-side run to the checkers?
We've had so many fantastic finishes in the past in Atlanta.
It's free wide for the lead in turn 4, heading towards the checkers.
Suarez top, Bush middle, blaming low to the flag. A 3-wide photo finish, and I don't know who won. I have no clue who won the race!
Surely we won't get a repeat of that, right? There's only one way to find out. The NASCAR Cup Series rolls back to Atlanta Motor Speedway February 23rd, live on USRN.
Enjoying USRN? Subscribe to the USRN YouTube channel for more USRN original content and for broadcast highlights.
It's come back to Henderson, and England take the lead. This is Matt White, and you're listening to USRN on Mixler.com and the Mixler app.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Mets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, everybody? This is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all this college football, including junior college, in the CCCAA and in the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS? Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, and I want to thank you for listening to Sports Done Right. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our platforms, whether it's Spreaker.com, XSquadAffiliates.com. We're also heard on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, so keep it tuned here. More great things coming from Sports Done Right.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango. And if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
ladies and centers. Hello, sports fans around the world. This is Cal Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans. Tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Names are made here.
Riley Herbst has won! He was not going to be denied!
Champions are made here.
Justin Allgaier is the NASCAR Xfinity Series champion!
And now, USRN is here.
It's time to drop the hammer.
Tune in all season long as every race of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is on USRN 2.
Back on USRN and Mixler.com, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series giving us another banger, the Focus Health 250 from Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, just about set to get the green flag on the final stage. It'll come with 20 laps to go as we get this great racing weekend started. Again, tomorrow our doubleheader starts at noon Eastern Time in St. Petersburg, Florida, with the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, the opener for the NTT IndyCar Series, and that'll lead you into our coverage of the NASCAR Cup Series racing here at COTA in the Echo Park Automotive Texas Grand Prix. So, Seth, the start of this race, the first two stages of it, have been incredibly entertaining, and I can't wait to see what this final stage is going to give us with the big boys, Byron, Zilich, Hill. They're all at the front again, finally.
Yeah. Oh, wait, next caution, because I'm sure we will have another caution. I'll roll out some on this day and birthdays just for the fun of it. Since I'm probably not gonna be able to do any of that tomorrow, because I might hop on for a little bit, then I gotta go to Waco by 6:30, you know.
So here come the leaders behind the Toyota Supra pace car. And as they get towards the restart zone, we'll get this final stage underway. Again, it's been just total chaos in these first couple of stages. Carson Quaffle and William Byron will restart on the front row with Quaffle the control car. Row 2 is Connor Zilich and Taylor Gray. And Zilich is the guy that dominated stage 1, then got just bad luck on a pit road penalty with timing of a caution, and has had to drive all the way from the back to the front, and has done it with 20 laps to spare. And Austin Hill in row 3 is not a terrible road racer, and he knows how to get down and dirty if he needs to. Here comes the field up out of turn number 20.
That's an understatement.
Into the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Green flag waves, and already Quaffle is feeling pressure at the back door from his teammate Zilich. Austin Hill is in that line too. Zilich goes way down, all the way underneath the pit exit line to get to the inside of Quaffle, and he runs into Quaffle. They go wide. Through goes Austin Hill.
Austin Hill somehow gets through the carnage and goes to the lead. What a move, as Austin Hill, the super speedway ace, now leading on the road course. As they continue to double file through those S's, guys, you got to be careful there. Brandon Jones in trouble. Oh, boy.
Yep, Jones was wide, running with Sam Mayer as they quickly jut to the left at 6A. Well, that did not go right for the teammates Zilich and Quaffle, shoving each other off the track. Austin Hill got through to the lead, and Seth going through to second, Corey Heim.
Yeah, how about him making a move here? Corey Heim doing the dirty work. And meanwhile, Zilich and Quaffle battling back there. That could get dicey.
And Zilich trying to get to the inside of Corey Heim, and he does with an aggressive move at turn 15. Oh, and Zilich hip checks Heim around. Heim goes spinning,
man.
And Zilich is damaged. Zilich is damaged on the right front. Corey Heim is pointed north in the southbound lane. Gets it rerouted, but Zilich is damaged. How heavily?
It's decent on the right side, I'd say.
Is he going to come to pit road? No, he's going to stay out. He's been passed by Byron and Quaffle in that exchange. Corey Heim drops from second to closer to 32nd. And now Zilich climbing up to turn one, and white smoke billowing out of his right front with that damage. Taylor Gray peeks to his inside. Can't make the pass. Now, this is why nothing is a sure thing in this sport. Connor Zilich was a runaway favorite to win this race, and it might be coming undone with 19 to go. Of course, still a long way to go.
Well, what is it that Murray Walker once said? Anything can happen in auto racing, and it usually does.
Let's go back to the restart, Seth, as we're getting the replay on our monitors. I mean, he was below the pit exit line to get to the inside of Quaffle, and he was never going to make the U-turn.
Yeah.
And
no, he never was.
And then at turn 15, Heim went defensive. Zilich said, I don't care. Oh, man, and just,
whoa!
I mean, dumped his lunch out on the floor. I think that's a young driver right there that knows that he's got the best car and he's the best road course driver in the field, and he was just a bit too anxious to get to the front.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment of what happened there.
Meanwhile, even with the damage, he's passed
William
Byron.
Back at the ranch.
Yes, he's passed Byron for third, even with the damage and the tire rub. Whoa, someone off the track at 19, just in front of Jesse Love and Sam Mayer, who were running into one another, and Mayer's going to pass Love at 20. These cars are going to look like they've been run at Martinsville by the end of it, and Jesse Love is one of them. That Whelan car has Mayer cut across his nose, and then Love reverses to his right. Now they zigzag again down the straightaway, and Christian Eckes is in behind all of it.
Yeah, it's going to be, that could be trouble.
Eckes, of course, in that Colleague 16 that's had so much road course success in this series with A.J. Allmendinger aboard, and A.J. has been working very closely with Eckes in the offseason to try to help his road course acumen, as Mayer is butter knifing his way through these S's right on the bumper of Love, and then just drives to his inside at 6A to make the pass.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting this is getting a bit wild. Actually, it already has gotten wild.
Yeah, and
oh, yeah, there you see Eckes with that damage there on the right front.
And, of course,
Anthony Alfredo has worked his way in the top 10, and so is Blaine Perkins. Here they go.
Yeah, Perkins, who celebrated a birthday yesterday. Oh, and behind him, Brandon Jones has gone wide and has had to come to a stop. That's at turn 14. Gets back on after losing 10 positions, maybe more. Kyle Sieg will not get by him, but dropped all the way back beyond Austin Green.
Son of David.
Thank you.
And that's not exaggerating. He really is.
He is. Thank you. Meanwhile, Riley Herbst.
I mean, I don't know what the big deal is. I'm just making an observation.
Riley Herbst just behind a couple of teammates in Josh Williams and Daniel Dye. Austin Hill at the front, lengthening his lead on Carson Quaffle.
Yeah, that damage hasn't slowed Zilich down much.
No, he's still in this to win this. Here's Nick Sanchez in turn one, working to the inside of Anthony Alfredo and making a pass. And then behind Alfredo, we've got William Sawalich, who has struggled all weekend, but he's approaching the top 10.
You betcha. You bet he has. 17 laps to go, and trying to work their ways to go single file through the S's there. Running through. Alfredo putting the heat on Sanchez. You got Sawalich, and lock up there from Alfredo. So he locks up. Sawalich is now wearing him out.
And Harrison
wearing him
Burton,
out big time.
Harrison Burton, our Stage 2 winner, just behind all of this as they come out of 6B and shoot down towards 12, where Ryan Sieg is to the inside of Dean Thompson. And Sieg makes the pass.
Look at him go.
17 to go, about to be 16. And, of course, that's still a long, long way to go around this course. Even though the course is a mile shorter, than it has been in the past years. Still a long way to go in this race. Of course, we cut it down to a 2.3-mile course from 3.4. We basically lopped about a mile off of it and a couple of corners. Austin Hill down the main straightaway, or should we say up the main straightaway, making that Coda climb towards turn 1. And his lead on Carson Quaffle at the line was 0.9 of a second. Zilich third, Byron fourth, Gray fifth, and side by side at the line, Harrison Burton on the way up to turn 1 to the inside of Tony Pasta. And Burton on fresh tires will make that pass. Ross Chastain's mired in all of this too, Seth. Chastain, who of course has been at the front all day, but right now outside the top 10.
Yeah, indeed he is. So you look at the Harrison Burton, again, got it through Corey Heim down on pit road in that upper deck machine. That truly is a tough break for him. He was on his way to a good run, and then Connor Zilich had somewhere to go, and Corey Heim was just a roadblock.
Yep, that's right. All 4 tires changed on Heim's car. Does not look like it will be Heim time in the Xfinity Series today, but his day is coming, driving for Sam Hunt's team. Closer towards the front, Christian Eckes trying to close in on Jesse Love as they head towards turn 15. Eckes has been beaten up a lot today, Seth, but he's stayed in the race, and he's in the top 10 because of it. Just continues to persevere with that car, all kinds of beaten up.
People won't like this term being used about a racer, but he's a gamer.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at this.
Hill.
I know we're on the radio. I'm just saying, look at it because of how wide they were.
Hill and Quaffle are becoming closer and closer together here. As at the line, let's see what the difference is at the line this time. It's about the same, 9.5 tenths, but Quaffle seems to be closing in at least visibly on Hill as they get into turn 1 through that U-turn. Now back downhill they plunge towards the S's. Carson Quaffle, the son of a former NASCAR Truck Series champion, is meanwhile up at turn 1. You've got Riley Herbst and Sheldon Creed rubbing knuckles, and one car spinning just in front of that is Alfredo, off on the grass to driver's left.
Oh, man. That's a tough break for Tony Pasta. I mean, he's going to have a solid finish there. Looped it around. That's a tough one. I was about to use a term Ken Squire used in the 600 nearly 30 years ago. That's a tragedy. I'll tell you what else might be tragic for Austin Hill. That Bass Pro Shop's bat. That bass is getting bigger and bigger.
That's right. Quaffle still a couple of months shy of his 22nd birthday, and he is getting closer and closer to the back bumper of Austin Hill. And when those two start racing, Connor Zilich will be on them very quickly. Zilich, of course, going everywhere quickly today. And will try to do the same tomorrow in his Cup Series debut live on USRN. Tomorrow afternoon following the IndyCar season opener in St. Petersburg, Florida. Wide out of 19 go Hill and Quaffle then locks up going to 20, locked up the right front, got it rotated. And the top 3 come onto the main straightaway. They'll cross the line together with 14 laps to go, and it's only 1.3 seconds that separates first to third.
I feel like it's still Zilich's to lose. But then again, I've been wrong so many times in the past. I don't know whether to say that, but boy, he does look much faster than those other two. Boy, he is just eat Quaffle slap up.
Yeah, and it seems as if that tire rub has gone away, and that's a piece of good luck for him after the bad luck earlier, because tire rubs don't often go away, but seems to have done so here on that right front. And meanwhile, just an absolute wad of traffic at the U-turn up there at the top of the hill. That's Jeb Burton, Brandon Jones up
20
there.
cars. Yeah, they're Brandon Jones, yeah.
Also, whoa, and sliding through
LeVay's
the S's
in there.
was Jeb Burton. And here's Quaffle for the lead. Carson Quaffle, and now Zilich down at turn 13 dives it underneath Hill. So Quaffle gets by Hill for the lead, and Zilich follows. And now Zilich might go after Quaffle at 15.
I don't think there's any might about that.
And all of this has brought William Byron closer. Of course, there's a lap car in behind him, too, in Chris Wright, the Pittsburgh driver. But Byron starts to close in. through the stadium section, and now Carson Quaffle, in just his 11th career Xfinity Series race, has the lead, but he's got the fastest car on the property and his teammate just behind him as they clear turn 20.
Man, we just about recreated our Benny Parsons 95 Bristol. Look here, the lead.
Here's Zilich under braking to turn 1, and they're showing us on our monitor a replay of how all of this happened. Yeah, Hill got in real trouble at turn 12. Wheel hopped going into 12, and that's why Quaffle so quickly got to his inside. But we would like to see cameras on the leaders, please. Live, I mean. Carson Quaffle.
Come on, C-Dub.
Trying to hang on. Here he is in 6A, and Zilich is all over him. Zilich is heating up the back bumper of Quaffle, who was up front for so much of Daytona, finished 4th. Didn't see him a lot at Atlanta last week, finished 23rd, and he's a little bit wide at 12. 12, yep, Quaffle was wide. Zilich works to driver's left. Quaffle's got the inside line for 13, and he's going to run Zilich a little bit wide here, Seth. Let's see what happens at 15.
Well, I feel like Zilich could probably back off just a little bit because he's got plenty of time and a good enough race car to do it. And, you said Quaffle's going to try to hang on. He can try and pray all he wants to, but, it's going to take an act of God for Zilich not to win this race. I'm sorry.
Through the stadium section and around the observation tower to driver's right. They swing out wide to the right to set up for the left-handed turn 19. Swing it wide out of 19 to driver's right alongside that candy-striped red and white curbing into 20. And Quaffle rotates that Chevrolet Camaro up out of the corner, accelerates up the main straightaway, and Zilich is in his slipstream as they scream across the line. With 12 laps to go, Zilich sneaks a peek to the inside. Quaffle's there to cover on the way to 1. Zilich locks up the right front under braking and has to stay in line behind Quaffle as they start to drop Austin Hill by 5 car lengths.
That was a good piece of driving right there by Carson Quaffle. He was able to just cover that low line down to where Zilich, couldn't make a move on him. He's going to have to keep driving defensively to have a chance here.
Yeah, and again, a long way to go. 11 and a half laps.
And that's a long time at this place.
18-turn course, a lot of opportunities to make a mistake. They swing up out of turn 6B. Down this much shorter back straightaway now with the reconfigured circuit. Under braking to 12. And again, Quaffle, just as he was last lap, a little bit wide at 12, but he gets it rotated, and Zilich then locks up the right front at 13. Quick jump to the right at 14. Now at turn 15, where they run a totally different line than the Formula One cars do on this circuit at 15. They stay low along the curbing for the corner, swing it wide to the right, and go into that stadium section again, that triple apex right-hander.
Yeah, indeed they do. Again, Quaffle able to keep Zilich by about a car length. Austin Hill is not a factor at the present time. I shouldn't say no longer a factor because who knows? We've seen crazy finishes. Dakota Zilich, boy, he locked that sucker up.
And again, with that damage on the right front fender of the Zilich car, that's going to make it really hard on those high braking corners like 19, 20, and then turn 1, because the fender is going to press down on the tire more and more. And I don't know, 11 laps to go, and I'm starting to think the more laps we see here, Seth, remember, these two are teammates from the same stables at JRM, so they've got pretty equal vehicles, so it's going to have to be Zilich being the better driver to make this pass, and I'm not sure he can go out and do that with the damage that he has, because I still think that right front damage is affecting his ability to get into these heavy braking corners. He's going to need Quaffle, I think, to slip up.
Right.
Of course, Carson, such a young driver, searching for his first win. Can he hold his nerve here as the laps tick down? He's locked up that right front at 13, and he's a bit wide.
There you go.
Keeps it rotated again. That's the key. When you lock up those tires under braking, you've got to get it rotated, and he has done so. Out of 15. And Zilich stays just a couple of car lengths back, filling up the mirrors of his teammate. These are two young drivers. Quaffle at age 22 has never won in this series. Zilich at age 18 has been called the next Jeff Gordon, and he's already won. And he's in the grass at 19. My goodness.
I don't think we need to be bestowing labels on that. Not just simply because that hurts the kid as much as it does anything else.
Exactly. Had that same conversation at Daytona, didn't we? About how he's being called the next Jeff Gordon and how that could really just provide too high of expectations. As they go back to turn 1, this is a great passing opportunity, this corner. Zilich gets close, but still does not break out of line. They have dropped Austin Hill now by 12 car lengths, and it's another 10 lengths back to Byron, and oh no, Harrison Burton is slow on the main straightaway. Doesn't look like he'll make it 3 for 3 on top 10s to start the season.
Yeah, that thing's crawling, and oh boy, that's the worst possible place to do it.
Yeah, is he going to be able to get off the track?
That's the $100,000 question.
Ooh, and don't weave into traffic.
Yeah, that's not a smart thing to do, Harry.
Might pull off here at the exit of 1. Nope, don't think he did. See if he can putter it back around. Meanwhile, Zilich closes in on Quaffle again at 13. With now 10 laps to go in regulation at COTA. In the Focused Health 250. Quaffle swings it up out of turn 15. What a pressure-packed situation for this young man as Connor Zilich continues to chew away at his back bumper. They get out of... Whoops, Zilich with a slip out of 18 this time. And that's going to hurt his entry for 19. Quaffle accelerates up out of that 19th corner and smokes the right front going to 20.
Oh,
Can he get it rotated? Not as well as Zilich does. And Zilich pulls to the inside of Quaffle. And the two teammates will run door to door and wheel for the lead down this main straightaway, Seth. Zilich has a nose in front on the way to 1.
Locks it up. It's not going to get too physical, you wouldn't imagine. Here he comes. There he goes. Zilich to the lead.
Quaffle going to try to get back to driver's left for the run downhill in the S's. Nope. He'll think better of that. Fill the hole back down in line behind him. Now through these S's. Can Quaffle stay close enough? Now with Zilich in front. See what that damage does with him in clean air. As they work through turn 6. Into 6A. Can Zilich pull away with 9 laps to go? Down that chute and into 6B. And Zilich is clear by a car length.
Quaffle's trying to stay there. Boy, I just don't know, man. That right front tire. It better not puncture. Oh, boy.
Yeah, exactly. And as we keep talking about...
I think Connor Zilich can thank his lucky stars he has a teammate behind him. Because if he had like Austin Hill behind him, he probably wouldn't have booted him out of the way.
Quaffle gets right to his bumper cover at 15.
Oh, I
know. Nothing too out of order there at 15 from Quaffle. And Zilich ended up getting out of that corner better and stretching his lead a little bit through the stadium section. Well, I think you're right to have concern about that right front tire, though, because as we keep saying, such a long way to go still. 18 turns a lap, and we're coming to 8 laps to go. So that's 144 turns that right front tire has to stay intact for as he crosses the line. With Zilich now in front of Quaffle by 0.6 of a second, and I'll tell you, behind them, William Byron is closing on Austin Hill for 3rd.
Another look at how it happened. Slight bobble there from the 1, and then a big lockup. And Zilich, like the master that he is on the road courses, was able to take advantage.
Connor Zilich, this young driver that is just has everyone thinking that he is going to be one of the all-time greats. Well, here's Quaffle. Quaffle to his inside at 6A. Quaffle is alongside Zilich. If the cameras will catch up to it. They do now. At 6B, they race out of that left-hander, and there's contact there. And Zilich stays in front on the run to 12.
Kelly better get on that radio and tell him to play nice.
This is only going to bring Hill and Byron closer to him. Here's Quaffle to the outside at 13. Quaffle putting pressure on his teammate. Will there be contact? Not yet. A long way to go. Heading to 15.
Yet's the operative word there.
He had a really good run up out of the S's and pulled alongside him at 6A, Quaffle. And I think that's, even though he didn't make the pass there, I think that's given Quaffle some real confidence that Zilic hasn't driven away from him and he can still take the fight to him. I think Carson Quaffle still believes he's in this to win this.
Yeah, but Zilic gapped him pretty well through that section of the track, though.
Heading to 20. And Zilic brings the leaders out of the final corner.
Be saying this on the air, but I was, because really there was no plan, turn announcing with just to do this on road courses. So I'm just basically doing a mix for that. And now it's, Quapple. He packed it in there.
Yeah, he did.
My gosh.
Yeah, he saw his opening at 6A and he went for it. Well,
yeah, I'm just saying stuff basically, but I tell you, Quapple's still, he's close back in on him. I can't believe he's staying with him, to be honest with you. I just thought Zilic would drive away and hide, but
yeah, and I think Carson likes those S's and then the heavy braking zone of 6A, because Zilic probably can't swing the car through the S's as easily with that right front damage, and I think that's where Quaffle sees an opportunity. Meanwhile, we've had a change at third. William Byron's gotten by Austin Hill, and he's starting to gap him too, and if these two really get testy in the late laps, Byron could be there to steal it.
He most certainly could.
Well, this is going to be a thrilling finish, and of course we always know too, there's always a threat of a late yellow throwing everything into disarray. That could still happen, as Zilic has now upped his lead by just a bit to 3 car lengths in turn 19.
I might get that with Harrison Burton a minute ago.
Yeah, we're not out of danger on that yet. We're never out of danger.
Oh God,
on that.
no.
So, as the leaders come to the line, 6 laps to go in the Focused Health 250. We're live on USRN2, Mixler.com, and the Mixler app, and we're also live on JB Motorsports on YouTube around the world. Glad to have you with us for the start
around this planet Earth.
Yeah, that's right. For the start of a great racing weekend with IndyCar at St. Pete and NASCAR's Cup Series at COTA coming up tomorrow, and Quaffle's had a bit of an issue in the S's here this lap, Seth. He's backed away, and Zilic's lead is now up to 5 car lengths.
Yeah, I wonder if he kind of used his stuff up.
Could have. But again, he likes this section right here, 6A and 6B. That's where he closed in the last couple of laps, and he did there a little bit too. William Byron behind this by about 4 seconds, so Byron still has some heavy lifting to do. Zilic.
Absolutely does. Real quick. Excuse me. Zilic, your leader. Quapple second. Byron third. Hill fourth. Sam Mayer is fifth. Taylor Gray is sixth. Christian Eck is seventh. Jesse Love eighth. Ninth is Ross Chastain. And 10th is Blaine Perkins.
And William Sawalich, just off of that in 11th, again, has struggled so much this weekend, but he's on the fringe of the top 10 here as we get down to these final laps. Zilic had just turned 18 last summer when he won, driving for JRM in his Xfinity Series debut up in New York on another road course at Watkins Glen. And now, in his first season as a full-time Xfinity Series driver, could
Why are we
be
doing
on
this?
the way to winning on another road course at COTA in just his
and
third
how many
start
laps
of
are
the
there to go?
season. Now we're down to 5 to go.
Yeah, good work, guys. Around with the 24 of Heim.
Of course, he ran here at COTA last year in the Truck Series with Spire Motorsports and finished 4th. There's no doubt this guy has a great, great road racing pedigree. And he will have loved to have gotten to the road course racing, Seth, because his start to the season on the super speedways has not been great. Oh, Quaffle's in trouble. Quaffle's in trouble.
Oh, no.
I think he's blown a tire. I think the right front's down.
Oh, no.
Quaffle.
Oh, my goodness.
Quaffle slow out of turn 12. Byron, Hill, and Mayer have gotten by him. Well, half the field will get by him by the time he limps this car to pit road. And Carson Quaffle with a right front tire down. Chances for winning have gone away here with just 5 laps to go.
That's a heartbreaker there, man. He had a great day going. He was going to finish second, if anything else, but...
And that now allows Zilich to take a deep breath as he now leads William Byron by about 4 seconds. I was just about to mention there as Mayer's actually picked up the pace again. Might be dangerous to do on a right front tire that's down. But with Zilich, first 2 races of the year have not been great for him. Finishes of 27th and 34th as Anthony Alfredo is out on the 40 acres coming out of turn
Anthony,
19.
baby, where are you going, sir?
As Quaffle gets to pit road and will fall out of the top half of the field. 4.4 seconds was Zilich's lead on Byron when they crossed the line, and now has a hefty lead, and now will be spending his time in the cockpit of that car, hitting his marks, and praying that everyone else on the course minds their manners, minds their morals and scruples out there on the racetrack. He hopes everyone will.
Did you just make up a word?
I did not.
Scruples?
Yeah, morals and scruples.
That sounds like a pastry you'd get at some Scandinavian American pastry dish shop somewhere in Old Town America. A scruple.
No.
Now that makes me hungry. I want an apple scruple, please.
No, Promise did not make it up. I can tell you that. Scruples, a feeling of doubt or hesitation with regard to morality or propriety of a course of action.
Well, that proves you really do carry a dictionary with you every time you go up to the broadcast booth. And a thesaurus, so we've got that mystery's been solved.
The dictionary line, or the sentence they give to use the word in, can I have it in a sentence, please? I had no scruples about eavesdropping.
There you go.
Meanwhile, we've had a change.
I think why I'm so nosy, because it's called eavesdropping.
We've had a change at third. The Haas factory team driver of
Sammy, baby!
Sam Mayer has gotten by Austin Hill. 3 laps to go in
driver,
the race.
1 car.
Yes, indeed. 3 laps to go in this race, so Mayer up to third, trying to keep his start to the season going.
And Sawalich now inside the top 10.
Yeah, that's right. And Blaine Perkins on his birthday weekend running 9th. Good for him.
Oh, boy. Get out the candles, baby.
Yeah. Mayer, of course, talking of Mayer's impressive start to the season, was 2nd at Daytona and was running in the lead pack last week at Atlanta before he got hit and turned head-on into the wall as Taylor Gray wheel hops his way into turn 12 and now is vulnerable at the back door to Christian Eckes. This is happening at 5th.
Yep, Eckes now putting a lot of heat on Gray. Eckes now going to go to the wide side. That's tucked back in line. He's going to try a crossover here. Yes, alongside. Ooh, a little contact there. I think Gray's going to keep it in front, though.
These 2 rookie drivers in the series, I think a lot of people are expecting big things from both. Gray driving for Joe Gibbs Racing, which is always a great piece to have underneath you, and Eckes in the Colleague car, as Eckes is going to drive into turn 20 and get to the inside of Gray. Oh, and drive him off the course. Eckes was not subtle.
There's a wall there. You're going to shove him into it.
Yeah, he was not subtle about moving Gray off the track at 20, and Eckes takes 5th. Right behind all of this is Jesse Love.
Thank you very much. I'm now in the mix.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I think a lot expected from those 2 rookies, Eckes and Gray, this year. Behind all of this by about 4 seconds is Ross Chastain. He just got caught up in traffic on the most recent restart. And for the guy that's been up front all day, it's not going to be the finish he wanted, driving in car number 9 for JRM.
Chastain, of course, got a cup win at COTA. It was his first one, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Was here 3 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, can you believe that's been 3 years ago already?
Unbelievable. As we are working the penultimate lap, in fact, Connor Zilic is getting closer and closer to seeing the white flag. Tight battle at ninth between Perkins and Sawalic here on these last couple of laps, and Sawalic is going to look to the inside of Perkins at turn 13, and he's got the inside line. We'll see if Perkins can get the good drive out through 14. He'll have the inside for 15, Will Perkins, and this is a door-to-door battle heading towards the last lap. Zilic, meanwhile, has started to slow his pace just a bit, which he has the luxury of doing. His lead is now under 3 seconds, but it's still comfortable as he rounds turn 20 and gets the white flag. We've started the final lap here in Austin, Texas, and Connor Zilic is 18 turns away from getting another win on a road course in the Xfinity Series. The 18-year-old with 18 turns left towards the checkered flag.
Meanwhile, this battle at 6 is getting hot and heavy here between Love and Gray. And let's see, Gray trying to work it in. Early contact. And I believe Love's going to make this pass. So Jesse Love, the Daytona winner, going to work his way into the top half dozen here. And Gray will get kicked back to 7th. You're not missing anything at the front, though. It's a Connor Zilic exhibition. He's cruising past Willie B.
Zilic heading towards turn 12 for the last time. Just has to keep this car on the track. It has quite literally been an up-and-down day for this young man. Started on the pole, dominated stage 1, and when coming to pit road to flip that first stage, an unluckily timed yellow flew as Zilic dove to pit road, and he got caught on a closed pit road, so was penalized for that, had to restart at the tail end of the line, and quickly moved his way from the back to the front. And as he clears turn 18 for the final time, Zilic out of turn 19, this 18-year-old superstar in the making from Charlotte, North Carolina, the son of an Olympic and NCAA champion gymnast at the University of Florida. Connor Zilic comes to the checkered flag and wins again in the Xfinity Series on a road course. Zilic is the winner at Circuit of the Americas in the Focused Health 250 and scores his second Xfinity Series win, and wasting no time to get the celebration started in turn 1.
Be careful of that right front tire. So Sawalic ended up getting ninth. I think you consider that a win given the weekend he had.
For sure. Zilic gets the win over Byron, Mayer, Hill, and Eckes in the top 5, and Ross Chastain is stopped at turn 1 to congratulate Zilic. At least we hope that's what he's done. Congratulated him.
What I'm thinking. They are teammates for the day, so.
Well, big things ahead for this young man. And he scores his second career win in this series, and it's his first win as an Xfinity Series regular. Class of the field all day long. Had to go through a lot of stuff. It wasn't as straightforward as starting first and finishing first.
Now you look at the racing reference or look at the race sheet of this thing. Wow, he cooked him well. Lady did it early, but middle section there was kind of weird. Now what's going on here? His pit crew looks befuddled.
It sure does. I think he's had to wait for everyone to come around to complete the last lap to then reverse the car and go the opposite direction down the front stretch to do the full celebration and the winner's interview.
Oh, yes, we need that godforsaken front stretch winner's interview. Whoa! Pop a wheelie, buddy.
Zilic starts to celebrate again, and he'll put the nose of his car up against the inside wall in front of his crew that's come to celebrate with him on this extremely long front stretch at Circuit of the Americas.
Well, we both have place to be. You got a date at the old Intangi, and I've got a date in Gainesville with a bunch of people that I just dearly love. Smoke.
Cloud of smoke that now Zilich pops out from behind.
The night. Steph Curry wins the race.
56-point game for Steph earlier in the week.
Stephen Curry wins the race. I don't believe it.
That would be a shock.
Yeah.
And again, Zilich makes his Cup Series debut on this track tomorrow.
He might be doing this tomorrow. This might just be a preview of his celebration tomorrow.
Well, he started the weekend as the second betting favorite behind only Shane Van Gisbergen. Of course,
Vegas knows the reason they got those casinos out there.
And of course, Van Gisbergen will be the one driving the WeatherTech-sponsored number 88 tomorrow. While Zilich will drive a Red Bull-sponsored number 87, and he will start from 14th. As luck would have it, he'll start right alongside the Monster Energy car.
Of course.
Tyler Reddick and Darrell Wallace Jr. will lead the field to the green in that race tomorrow. We'll have it for you on USRN. Dylan Welch is down there with our 18-year-old race winner. In a moment. Maybe. Hopefully. Possibly.
Doubtful.
It's becoming that way.
Unlikely.
We do know that Dylan's down there.
Such a fun weekend, but we got a big race tomorrow.
Make it up.
So looking forward to that as well.
You took care of business today, but the Cup thing could have been a distraction this weekend. How do you stay so unflappable? That's been the term that's been used to describe you at just 18 years old. How do you do it?
Man, you just can't let the noise get to you. You got to keep doing your thing no matter what. Whether it's good talk or bad talk, you just got to keep doing it and prepare the same way, and the results will come. So I'm so grateful to have so many great people in my life. Everyone at Chevy, I wouldn't be in this position without them. Josh Wise, Scott Speed, my family for supporting me. It's been a long journey, but grateful to get this one today.
He's doing it for sure. Good time to be Connor Zilich. Second career Xfinity win and his Cup debut tomorrow here at COTA.
He was racing go-karts at age 12, 13 in Europe. He's been made for this. And now
Lowen sounds a lot like Adam Alexander.
Of course, he popped up on a lot of people's radars last year when he got class wins at the Rolex 24 and the 12 Hours of Sebring. At the age of 17, he did that. And then, of course,
better than anything I was doing at 17.
And, of course, the Watkins Glen win as an 18-year-old in the Xfinity Series a year ago. The guy is just super talented, especially on these twisty courses that turn left and right. Can't wait to see what he does later in the year on the quote-unquote true ovals. Mentioned his struggles finishing worse than 25th in both of the Super Speedway races earlier this year. Again, Super Speedway racing is its own monster. We'll see him on the flat oval of Phoenix next week. Race that we'll have for you here on.
I'm looking here at the. As I'm finished playing the pick game, I'm stunned that Matt and Adam both picked Scott Mack and SVG to win. I am absolutely stunned that they went that. By the way, what is this color thing? Okay, I think I've got the first two. It's the last one that's confusing me. The first two are Texas and the Tampa Bay Lightning, correct?
Tampa Bay Rays.
Tampa Bay Rays. Okay, what's that third one then?
San Antonio Spurs.
It's an interesting selection.
Could have gone Austin FC, but I don't know if many.
I was going to say, how close is San Antonio to Austin?
I don't know. My Texas geography isn't well known.
Well, okay. I thought maybe you looked at which one of the big three cities was closest to Austin and just picked the Spurs for that one.
I did not.
Too bad we can't get Wemby out here to wave the green flag or get in one of these cars. Would even fit in one of the cars.
Of course, the Spurs, didn't they just play in Austin, Texas against Phoenix because they wanted to have Durant play at Moody? Didn't that just happen?
Oh, I didn't know about that was a deal, but yeah. Now, of course, I say all as I turn into something I really don't want to be. It's a word that starts with an H and ends with an E.
Well, remember we're on JBM.
I just make that stop. It's not a cuss word, you over-worried joker. But anyway, but again, you'll figure it out when I say it. I just gave Matt and Adam that snide remark, so naturally I picked McLaughlin and SVG to win the races tomorrow, too. That makes me a hypocrite. You can calm down and get your panties out of a wad.
Different rules.
You like Billy Packer in the 87 championship. Somebody stop the clock!
Different rules on the tube than it is on the lure.
Well, I didn't cuss. Less hypocrite's a new swear word this administration's floating out here.
Well, I didn't know that's what you were going to say. You weren't saying the word.
Well, because I didn't want to give it away. But yeah, I mean, like,
enthralling.
You freaking out like Billy Packer in the 87 championship. Nobody stopped the clock!
Enthralling conversation here, and a great way to get on my good side is compare me to him, of course.
Well, I mean, God almighty. What did it say? Nobody stopped the clock. We're on JBM.
Anyway.
We'll get it, as you said about him, we'll get it fixed. Calm yourself.
Anyway, as no one on JBM knows what this conversation is even about.
Who cares?
I mentioned earlier about Connor Zilic and what will we see him do on the quote-unquote normal ovals. And, of course, we get one next week at Phoenix.
You think he could have a year similar to what STG had last year? He kicked butt on the road courses, but the ovals were just kind of a slightly less than a mixed bag.
I think he'll do better than SVG did on the ovals.
That's
because
true.
He ran 4 Xfinity races last year. Watkins Glen, he won. He was 4th at Kansas, 12th at Homestead, and 4th again at Phoenix.
That is true.
And, of course, Phoenix next week, he gets to run somewhere for a second time. So,
that is true.
Zilic, I think, is a true championship contender in this series, and we'll see what he does as he gets the win in the playoff spot and the 5 playoff points locked down today.
Carson Kvapil.
See if we can
Tough luck
actually
kid of the day.
Hear him this time. What in the world?
And try to do differently next time.
Yeah, man, I don't know. We had such a good Bass Pro Shops Aquarius Chevrolet that, man, it's tough. It's tough to get over that one, right? But yeah, we flat spotted the right front. Just trying to stay with the 88 there. I felt like we were a little bit better in some places, but in others he could really get away from us. So I knew if I just tried to keep my ground up, I would be able to catch him to the S's. But ultimately, just use it up a little too much there. But just can't thank everybody on this car, Johnny Morris, Bass Pro Shops, Clarence, the whole Junior Motorsports group for the work they put in this thing. And I feel like we shouldn't have ran that good, maybe. I guess it was a little bit expected, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a surprise. So just can't thank everybody on this whole #1 car for making this thing as fast as Xfinity Mobile and all the hard work they put in today.
I think your crew chief was confident that you guys were going to be fast, and talking to him this morning. So what about your prep or just the car you had gave you the confidence and self-assurance to go up there and run the way you did today?
Yeah, I mean, I knew yesterday after we ran practice, we worked on the car and got it a little bit better, and I didn't think we were really like the fastest car or maybe even a top 3 car, but I knew we would be in the top 10 at least and have a good shot at the top 5. And it just seemed like as soon as the green flag dropped, we were really good, and we got turned around there early in the race, and we went all the way to the back and just had to kind of claw our way back up from there. And kind of sucks because we didn't really get no stage points because we knew we'd be fighting for the win. But ultimately, just need to, I guess, put that in the back pocket and remember what happened and build off it.
Bummer result, but strong showing for the 1 car today.
How about this stat? He passed 74 cars today.
Wow.
Carson Kvapil. And he wins the Xfinity fastest lap for this race. earning a point towards the championship. Disappointed,
but
some positives, no doubt, for this young driver. Carla?
Yeah, Adam, Sam Mayer here, started 8th. You finished 3rd. What does that say about your team right now and just the way that you've been able to execute?
Yeah, I mean, it's really rewarding to have a car yesterday that we were pretty bummed out about, but the Haas factory boys went to work on this Audubell Ford Mustang overnight and made it really, really good. It's not quite as fast as Xfinity Mobile, but we're good enough to get in the top 3 and get that podium finish. But hats off to these guys. They did awesome. The sun's out. It's bright. I got my driven sunglasses on, and it's bright out just like my future.
You got out of your car and you said that was something else.
It just was. Like, we hit everything. We got hit multiple times, but we fought through the adversity and got through today and got on the podium. And this team's future is really, really bright. It's a small organization right now, but we're going to become a powerhouse soon.
All right, Sam Mayer, 3rd place finish for him, his highest finish at the track, Kim.
And William Byron matches his best finish here in Xfinity of 2nd. I know you wanted the win there, but how would you summarize your day here at COTA?
It was good. It was okay. You know, I thought that I really slid around a lot to go fast on the short run, and I just couldn't go for 5 to 10 laps. And those guys would get away, and then our long run was really good, both really long runs that we had. So, my car was just really kind of floppy in the short run, and had to try to take care of it, and then, just tried to stay with it there on the long run. So just appreciate Adam and all the guys. They did a great job, and thanks to HendrickCars.com, Chevrolet. I had fun. It was a good workout. It was good to get back kind of in the rhythm of things, pushing the car, and I think it'll help me for tomorrow just to kind of understand some of the corners and, if anything, just get back in the rhythm. So congrats to Connor. He did a great job. I thought those guys were dicing up front, and I thought, maybe they could get into each other, and they lost a chunk of time, and I kind of got closer, so I was just hoping for more of that.
Ross Chastain finishes in the 8th spot, and that doesn't quite tell the whole story. Looking at our monitor here, you see the restarted 30th. That tells a little more of the story, but how do you evaluate and kind of just sum up the day ultimately?
That was an unforced error, Dylan. It's just so bad to make that kind of a mistake on the final stop of a road course race under green to speed. They said it was 50.07, but I was just living too close to the edge there for our acceptance insurance Chevy. Didn't need to, just had made the pass on the guys I was around and was going to come off pit road with my number 1 team pitting the car. It was going to come off pit road in front of everybody and be front row beside the 1, which is really odd to say. To race the 1 is actually really weird, but it was going to set up great, and just an unforced error for us. So proud of. I mean, it's incredible to drive this JRM car. Obviously, congratulations to the 88 and Connor. I'm proud that somebody from the company brought it home, because I thought the 1 was going to get it for a little while, and we had a shot until I sped on pit road. So 4 more races with this group, and now that I've driven their cars, I'm even more jealous that I haven't been driving them for the last 10 years.
Thanks, Ross. Kim?
Well, last week's winner, Austin Hill, has to settle for 4th this weekend. At one point, though, late in the race, you were able to overtake Connor Zilic and Carson Quapple. Looked like you locked up the rears there. As you look at the late race moves you made, what would you like to redo?
Probably not mess with the brake bias like I was doing when I was leading the race. I started messing with my brake bias because I started getting tight in some of the slower sections, and ultimately that's what kind of cost us on the wheel hop. They still were going to get to us. I think just overall the 1 and the 88 were better than we were today. Even the 17 there was a little bit better than us. We kind of blistered our tires really bad in stage 1. Stage 2 we fixed it, but in return we were sideways through the corner. So we kind of went back a little bit on adjustments, and right after they got by me, I could tell I was in trouble, and I'm sure that I, blistered or corded the front tires there, which hurt us. But at the end of the day, I think our Global Industrial Chevrolet was probably, 60% me and 40% car that needs to be better. There's areas that I can work on and do a better job. I think we can go toe-to-toe with these road course ringers. We've shown it time and time again that we can run inside the top 5, top 3, and it's a very frustrating fourth-place finish for us, but we'll just keep building. The car just wasn't as fast as Xfinity Mobile today.
Top 5 finish, Carla, for Austin Hill. And for the 5th place finish, we've got Colleague Racing's Christian Eckes. We were talking during the whole broadcast about how much damage your car received, but still a 5th place finish. How were you able to manage that in this race?
It's a really, really fast Celsius Camaro. As fast as Xfinity all day, and the driver was not. So made too many mistakes, got a pit road penalty, just put us behind, and maybe we could have had a shot at it. I say that. 88 probably would have kicked my ass. But, yeah, no, it's a good day to recover like that, but just frustrated with myself to make all those mistakes.
Gotta love the honesty there, guys.
And we got it. Final thoughts on.
All right. Well.
Okay. 3 things. One, I was worried we were going to keep interviewing the guy to the 20th first place driver there for a second. 2, what are these people going to do next year when Xfinity's no longer sponsoring the series?
Well, I'll be excited not to hear that mess after every interview. Holy moly!
God almighty! What a.
God bless. Anyway. As we get down towards the...
I guess they got equal camera time in their contracts.
As we get down towards the end of our show here
Carla,
today on
gotta get her.
USRN2, let's give you the final finishing order of today's Focused Health 250. It was Connor Zilic, the winner for the second time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, beating William Byron of the line by 1.6 seconds. Sam Mayer finished third, his second top 5 of the season. Austin Hill finished 4th today. Christian Eckes was 5th. Jesse Love 6th. Taylor Gray rebounded after the late crash at Atlanta to finish 7th. Ross Chastain was 8th. William Sawalich was 9th. And Blaine Perkins-Seth was 10th.
Sammy Smith finished 11th. It was Sheldon Creed in 12th. It was Riley Herbst who faded back to 13th. Alex LeBay 14th. Josh Williams was 15th. 16th was Ryan Ellis. Daniel Dye was 17th, Dean Thompson 18th, Ryan Sieg was 19th, and Brennan Poole finished 20th.
Anthony Alfredo ran up front for a lot of the day, but spun late, had to settle for 21st. Josh Balicki was 22nd. Carson Quaffle, who looked like he was going to be battling for the win late, cut down a tire and finished 23rd. Nick Sanchez was 24th, Jeb Burton 25th. Austin Green was the 26th place finisher today, with Kyle Sieg behind him 27th. In his 500th Xfinity Series start, Jeremy Clements could only manage a 28th today. Justin Allgaier was 29th, and 30th went to Brandon Jones.
Corey Heim got spun out by Connor Zilic late in the race, had to settle for 31st. 32nd, Matt DiBenedetto. 33rd went to Chris Wright. Sage Karen was 34th. Harrison Burton was on track to potentially make it 3 top 10s from 3 until he had a late problem. He was 35th. 36th was Preston Pardis. Baltazar Leguizamon was 37th. 38th was Carson Hocevar,
who was the first car out of the race. Of course, Hocevar is starting top 5 here tomorrow for the Cup race after his near win.
I'm sure that's got a lot of people pissed off.
In his near win at Atlanta last week. Through 3 races in the Xfinity Series, Austin Hill, Jesse Love, and Connor Zilic have clinched playoff spots with wins. Sheldon Creed sits 4th in the playoff standings with Sam Mayer 5th, Justin Allgaier 6th, Sammy Smith 7th, Jeb Burton 8th. 9th through 12th is Taylor Gray, Christian Eckes, Harrison Burton, and Carson Quaffle. Top 12, of course, go to the playoffs. Just beyond that top 12 is William Sawalich, Ryan Sieg, Jeremy Clements, and Josh Williams. So, final thoughts, Seth, from the Focused Health 250 today here in Austin, Texas.
It was wild. It was woolly. It was about what we expected when you get these Xfinity guys on a road course, and very, very exciting. And I believe we go to the desert next week for these guys, correct?
Yep, absolutely. The month of March for the Xfinity Series swings into Phoenix next Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on USRN. Then from Phoenix, we go to Las Vegas, Miami, and Martinsville is the March menu ahead for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Every race, of course, here on USRN2. And we can't wait for that run at Phoenix next week. Of course, a big race, because that is where the championship race is also held in November. Tomorrow, a doubleheader of action for you on USRN starting at noon. It's the season opener for the NTT IndyCar Series, the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, and that's followed by the NASCAR Cup Series Echo Park Automotive Texas Grand Prix here from COTA. So put it on USRN at 12 noon Eastern tomorrow, and just leave it there, as we'll have all of the road course racing action tomorrow. Seth, Cup race here tomorrow. Shane Van Gisbergen was the favorite. He is no longer, because after winning the pole earlier today, Tyler Reddick has now become the favorite. You got a pick for us tomorrow?
I think this track just suits SVG. I mean, I know it's been a long time, but he did run this course when the supercars had their run here many years ago. So, I think that's where I'd go. I don't think you can rule Zilich out of the conversation. I think he'll have a lot to say. I think Allmendinger could be in the mix. Reddick is certainly not a bad bet, but I will go with Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, Reddick now is the betting favorite according to the folks in Vegas. He won the pole earlier today. He won the race 2 years ago, 23-11, locking out the front row in qualifying earlier today. We will hit the air with that race following the coverage from St. Petersburg, which again, I'll tell you, starts at noon Eastern time. Can't wait for it. For everyone at USRN, Mixer.com, and for all of you listening on JB Motorsports, for Seth Eves, Matthew Owens signing off from Austin, Texas, where the winner of the NASCAR Xfinity Series Focused Health 250 is Connor Zilich. We will see you tomorrow and then next weekend in Phoenix.